Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Let me see. I'm going to give you guys a chance to come on in. Oh, wow. There's already 260 of you guys. I didn't even realize y'all had already started filtering in. Before we get started, hey, guys. Let me see who's in here today. Let me see. Rude Nymph. That's an interesting name. Shout out to Melody, Crystal. Let me see. Who else is in here? Blue Crew. Okay, you guys have named yourselves the Blue Crew, and it's happening so much. I guess it happened in the comment section, so I'm going to honor it, okay? Moving forward, we are going to be referring to you guys as the Blue Crew. It makes sense because it was organic. A fun fact, me being called Blue is a nickname that I got as a kid in the 90s. I didn't choose that nickname, so it makes sense that if my nickname was chosen for me, I guess my supporters' name should be chosen for me as well. Who else is in here? Flo is in here. Hey, Flo. Flo, by the way, somebody said, yes, it happened on Tarot Tuesday. Also, it just happened a couple of days ago. That's so dope. I love that. I will tell you guys that we had talked about if I got 100, what do they call them? Not subscribers. I already have subscribers. Flo, what do you call them when the people, members, 100 members, we would start doing sexy story time and tarot class, right? And so I have a page on here called the Academy. If you look in the memberships thing. And so I wanted to make sure after we got off that you guys knew exactly how to join the Academy, because until we get to 100, I can't post anything, right? So for those who've been asking, Blue, how do you join? I'm putting it up here. When you go to my page, you see where it says subscribe. It's the join button right next to my name. So for those who have been wondering why some of the people in here, their names are in green and they have little blue badges, it's because they've actually joined the Academy. And once you hit the join button, then it brings you to this, which is the join the channel page, right? And it's a $10 flat rate. And we're going to be doing sexy story times, things that I do not want to talk about outside the paywall. We're going to be doing tarot class where I actually teach you how to read tarot in my kind of way. And if there's anything special happening that I want to give a heads up to people who are loyal to me, or anything that is like a soft launch that I kind of want to give you guys first dibs, it will always happen in the Academy. But we cannot unlock the Academy until we get to 100 people. Let me see how many people have actually joined. I'm going to go on my YouTube right now, guys. Give me a quick second. Let's see how many people have. Actually, I can see on my phone. Let me look at my phone because it's actually easier. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Our guest today, Mike, is one of my bestest male friends, and I adore him. He's a good person. Y'all know how I am about my friends on here. So when he comes on, y'all better be polite to him, okay? Because he's a Leo and he cares. I'm just playing. Also, too, the reason why having Mike on, because I know I said I was not going to be talking about, hold on, let me look at the memberships. As of now, we need 100 members to start. And as of now, we have 48. So we're almost 50% there, guys. So if you are wondering why hasn't the Academy started yet, out of 100 memberships that we need to get started, we have 48. So if you've been on the fence about joining, please do so, because I'm hoping that we can get to 100 by this month so that we can start with all the good stuff. Shout out to, 2 of you just joined. Thank you. So we're up to 50 already. Thank you. Just that fast, we're up to 50. Someone said, did anybody see Ola's mom had liked and commented? Oh, trust me, we're talking about all of that. And also, too, I need you guys to know, the beauty about having Mike on today's episode is up until recently, I and many of you did not think that emotionally evolved Leos who could admit when they're wrong exist. And then I met Mike. Right? I did not think Leos who knew that they had a proclivity for hypocrisy and had to be cognizant of that and how their egos maneuver existed until I met Mike. Did not know that Leos were open to taking therapy until I met Mike. Hell, I didn't know that there were Haitian men who weren't proudly toxic until I met Mike. So I need you to know that Mike is a bona fide unicorn. He's also a Cancer rising. So he's going to do the whole modest shit. You know, my friends come on here and they want to be modest. I'm going to pop shit about my friend, okay? Put some fucking respect on his name. He was a writer on Insecure. He was a writer on Ginny in Georgia. He was a showrunner on his show, Send Help. And I want him to come on here. And you guys, you know how I am about supporting the community. I always say that I don't want you guys to ever do anything that's going to break your wallet or break your hearts. I want emotional safety to be almost like a prerequisite for being in this space. And I would never ask one of my friends to do this level of intellectual labor that I'm about to ask Mike to do unless they were getting something out of it and actually being fed by my community. So please, somebody just wrote, they love send help. Oh my God, I love that. So please, guys, do me a favor. Jenny and Georgia, I don't know about that. That's not going directly to his wall. I'm not sure. But send help, yes. Mike's going to tell you how to watch Send Help. I want you guys, after you are done watching this episode, to go on whatever platform it's on and binge it. I think it's Tubi, actually. Binge Self Help, the whole series. It's written by Mike and Shelly, also from Insecure. There are two Black men, two Haitian men in Hollywood making it do what it do, and also being decent fucking human beings. I feel like part of my purpose on the show is to show you that good men, decent men of all orientations and socioeconomic classes do exist. Yes, even within the Caribbean and Haitian communities. It gets tricky. So guys, without further ado, please welcome one of my bestest friends, an all-around amazing human, and a nigga who knows how to put that shit on. When you go to Mike's page, you know exactly what the fuck I mean. Mike, Gauyo!
Hello! What up?
How do you feel, my love?
You really talked me up. You really
Did I lie, though? Did I lie, though?
I gotta come in and just give all of that.
I mean,
No,
friend.
Thank you.
They have to understand why I'm doing this, because I'm so intentional, and I had announced on August 30th that I would never be talking about Love Island season 7 again. Until I got on the phone last night, Mike, and I was like, oh man, we have to have this conversation on camera.
Didn't we all say we weren't going to talk about this show anymore? And here we are.
Yeah, and here's the somebody said he's echoing. I don't hear Mike echoing. Mike, talk real quick.
I think I am echoing a little bit. Am I echoing?
Yeah, the last time when Bridget was echoing, it was something that was going on. I think like with her sound
thing, because I have the mic is on my laptop and not my phone. Should it be on my phone?
What are you talking from? Whatever you're talking from, make the mic all.
Hold on, let me see if I could change it. Mike.
Somebody said, Anne said she watched it on Prime with an all-black subscription. Okay, I see you.
Oh, I love that.
Hey, Blue. Yes, hey, friends. There's a whole community in here, Mike. And if you're wondering, there are currently 590 people here watching your pretty face. Okay, so the audio went out.
Echo gone?
Okay, now it's back. Is the echo gone, guys? We're doing a quick sound check with the community. It's good now. Okay, thank you guys for keeping us honest. Okay.
And if you have that issue in the future, Blue, it's because I switched the mic to my phone instead of my laptop.
Okay, so keep on talking because it was muted a little bit. Talk some more.
I switched the mic to my phone instead of my laptop, so that helped me echo. Okay. Yeah, that worked. I think also something you said earlier before I got
now it's echoing again. Put it back to the original. It's echoing again.
Oh, that's crazy. Hold on.
How about,
is that better?
This sounds perfect to me, y'all.
No, but like I think sometimes I hear the echo on my side too, so I'm not sure what that could be.
Well, is there a way to make sure that your phone doesn't interfere? Maybe your phone and your laptop are talking to each other.
Yeah, like maybe. How's that?
Yeah, I would say put the volume down on whatever it is. Okay, everybody's saying it's better. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you sounded far away when you switched over. Let me see.
Okay.
Blue, I was here when we had 50 to 100 viewers on IG Live. The community is growing. Oh, that's amazing.
Come on, Crystal. Come on, community. I love it. I've been watching. Yeah, I've been watching Blue on her grind for a long time, and the community that she's built on this platform and many other platforms is astounding. So kudos to you, Blue. Love you down. Love what you do. Earlier, you said something about like the folks in here being nice. Y'all don't gotta be nice. Y'all better pop off if you need to.
Mike said, I want the smoke. Okay.
Y'all better pop off if you need to. I don't care. No, but you're all fantastic, and I think you've built a great community of people. Earlier, even before we get started, earlier on Threads, I saw this post about like being parasocial. I have like, I'm not even quite sure what parasocial means per se.
A one-sided relationship with somebody who's a public figure.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I feel like since COVID happened, we've been so isolated just from other people, and just the advent of social media and how that just blew up. A lot of our communities are online.
That's true, actually. That's a
You know
great.
what I mean? Like, and being able to have community online like this platform where we're able to talk about different subjects and things like that is healthier than staying isolated and not having an outlet or anyone to talk to. So kudos to you for building this community of people.
Why are you
And I
making me
can't wait
blush,
to
Mike?
be
No, I'm supposed to be giving you the compliments.
Oh no, this is about you, girl.
I will say this though, that was a beautiful segue. And the thing I love about my friends is y'all be in my brain. I feel like we have like telepathy. The conversation around parasocial relationships is excellent because, Mike, there are two conversations we had previously in other episodes that I actually want your quick take on before we pivot to the Love Island and Shelly and Ace of it all. The first one is Your Good Judy, Cardi B. I'm going to make sure that I download this video right now because I want to post it up. Cardi B has been getting a lot of flack for being Cardi B.
I love Cardi so much.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about Cardi, particularly considering she does have a very active parasocial relationship with her fandom that people who are necessarily not in the fandom sometimes have strong feelings about? And she's like, it's an inside joke though, y'all don't get it. What do you think about Cardi and her presence online?
Well, here's the thing. First, I'll say that I'll say that yes, I love Cardi, and because I love Cardi, a lot of the content that I consume about her is positive, and a lot of times what will happen is because of the algorithm and because of how the algorithm works, you're more likely to see positive things about your faves than you are to see negative things about them. So I don't know whatever is negatively being said about Cardi per se for me to be able to comment, for me to be able to fully comment, I guess, on your question. So what I will say, though, is she's a fully authentic person. She's herself all the time. Like, she doesn't care what people think about her. She doesn't self-produce herself or filter herself for any one audience, right? And that's what I like about her. She's authentically herself all the time. That trial was gold.
It was. It was comedic gold.
It was comedic gold. It was amazing. I was tuning in every day to be like, what is she about to say? And it's because she's herself all the time. And I really like that about her. And the thing is, too, because people tend to be so self-produced, it's refreshing when you get to see someone who is authentically themselves all the time. So kudos to Cardi for doing that.
That's beautifully stated. And also, I want to say, guys, authentic and natural does not mean harmless, right? It just means that whatever I am, good, bad, everything in between, that's what you're going to get. Authentic doesn't mean harmless. It just means I'm a person. I'm a flawed human being, right? And the distinction I have, because I do know that authenticity is the same flag that they wave for y'all's president, is that weaponizing authenticity is where the line is for me. And also, Mike, I know Mike enough to speak for him on this, right? As long as you're not being malicious, I'm going to let you be you. Once malice comes into play, then I don't give a fuck who you are. We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And that distinction is important because you can be problematic without being malicious, guys. I know this is shocking to you guys. You can be problematic without being malicious. We all, me, Mike, y'all have views that are authentic and problematic, but not malicious. And so I'm not taping for Cardi. I just want us to understand that the way you go after someone who's malicious versus the way you go after somebody who's authentically problematic should not be the same, in my opinion. There should be levels to your disdain. It can't be broad strokes for everything and everybody. Because some of y'all act like she is going around like blowing up buildings. Like, and I'm just like, okay, what she said might have offended like some of y'all, and I get it, and talk to her about that. But don't overstate it as well. And also don't be an enabler. I think both extremes are a little bit off. And one thing I will say, Mike, what are your thoughts around that distinction before we show a Cardi video that you sent me yesterday that tickled the crap out of me?
I'm dead.
What are your thoughts about the distinction between when authenticity stops working for you and you're like, ooh, now bitch, not too much, not too much?
I repeat the question for me because you said a couple of things that I want to touch on, but repeat the question that you're asking right now.
What's the line where being authentic to you becomes malicious? Like, when do you say, okay, you're being authentic and you probably should have kept that for the group chat?
Well, here's the thing, though. I think the audience determines that. Yeah. I think the people that are receiving the content determines that at times. Yeah. And I'll give you a really good example. What's her name? We were just talking about her yesterday. She has like the brand, she like cooks, she has the popcorn, she has the stuff in
Tabitha,
Target.
we'll do the whole thing on Tabitha next.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, bet. Tabitha is a great example of this. Tabitha is someone that authentically shows up as herself all the time. But recently, folks have had very polarizing opinions, views about her and about what she says. Do you know what I mean? So for her, she's authentically presenting as herself, but people have differing opinions about how they are receiving what she is saying. So to answer your question, that is wholly based on the people taking in the content. Like you can be authentically yourself 100% of the time, but half of those people will see you as a villain and the other half will see you as an angel. So you just have to bear the cost of being a public figure when it comes to something like that.
And we're gonna bring Cardi up right now because I want
$9.99. These are $15 right here.
I love you.
$20. $9.99 for the little ones. Y'all get the little ones for $9.99. What up, y'all? We outside. We got the exclusive Cardi B.
I couldn't put too much because I didn't want to get a copyright strike, but that is actually
loved that. I thought it was hilarious. I loved it. I thought it was great promotion. I thought it was I thought it was funny. I thought she was being authentically herself. I can see her team coming to her and being like, "Hey, we should sell your CDs on Canal Street and do like a bit of like you selling your CDs." And her being like, "Oh shit, that's funny. Bet, let's do it." Like
somebody said,
I like the way that she thinks. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Somebody said, "I'm not a fan of Cardi. She's too old to be going ballistic the way that she does." And then someone else said, if she was a dark-skinned Black woman, I don't think she'd be given the grace she gets, so she gets none from me. I mean, to be perfectly honest, we had Naomi Campbell, we had Sexy Red. We actually have had people who are authentic and sometimes problematic who are dark-skinned. So I understand that colorism is a thing 100%. And we have seen dark-skinned Cardis, though. We've seen a lot of dark-skinned Cardis.
And who said this? To the individual that said that, I think you do bring up a good point.
It's a good point.
It's not just the statement that you're posing and what you're saying. It's the fact that like for us, the individuals that consume content, right? And be it dark-skinned individuals, whatever that is, oftentimes we see people get passes that other people do not get. And that is triggering for many of us. And it's not fair. So I get it for sure. And you bring up a good point, Blue, when you brought up some of the examples of darker skinned individuals reacting and or behaving in the same way that Cardi has. Yet and still, what that young lady said was valid because it's still not close. It's still not close to being.
It's not close. And buffoonery is, this is going to sound very harsh, and yet I'm going to be honest, buffoonery is a brand. And there's a certain level of objective buffoonery that any Black or brown woman, regardless of hue, can do that's authentic to them because they're from they're from the Bronx or they're from Queens or they're from Texas, right? That even though it's authentic, white people are comfortable with because it feeds into a stereotype that they recognize. And so I think it's even more layered than dark skin or light skin. I think there's a certain way that they assume a girl from the Bronx acts that Cardi acts, so they feel comfortable letting her act like that. I do think that's a thing because when you look at let's say Alandria, right? Alandria and Shelly, had they acted more like Cardi, they actually would have gotten more kindness. That's why I'm saying it's nuanced. We talked about how part of the reason why people were quick to call Shelly and Alandria mean girls was they wanted them to have the neck swiveling, hey girl, hey, whatever persona, and them being so stoic and so prim and proper actually felt like an affront to the more comfortable, angry Black woman thing that they would have felt comfortable in, right? So it's a double-edged sword where light-skinned girls get more grace and dark-skinned girls who pull a Cardi and do the neck swivel are more marketable. A perfect example of that is Amaya. Because Amaya was a comfortable archetype of a Latina from New York who mispronounces words and she says gratuitously and does all that stuff, even if it might make some people wince, people were comfortable with that. They found it marketable. She was America's sweetheart. And so I think, yes, it's a great point that dark-skinned Black women get more strife. And there are some dark-skinned Black women who actually get into rooms because they play into an archetype that the society is comfortable seeing them in. Both things coexist in a way that's tricky.
I agree with you. There's some language that I'm just wanting to
unpack,
combat, or just I guess respond to, right? I want us to be careful about not conflating kind of like certain things. There's the way someone naturally acts as an individual in their and being in their authentic self, and then there's the way the audience receives their authenticity.
Exactly.
Right? So that combativeness that some audience members might enjoy in that individual doesn't mean that that individual, seeing that a certain group might enjoy that combativeness, doesn't mean that they will lean into that combativeness to continue to make more money, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They'll just naturally they'll just naturally just continue to be themselves, while that whatever group that enjoys their combativeness will continue to enjoy it regardless of that person even caring. I feel like that's who Cardi is. To your point, there are other individuals who will play into that bad boy, bad girl thing that some folks might enjoy from them, that they will lean into. And for the most part, at times, as soon as they lean too deeply into that thing, their career, they end up ruining their careers to a certain extent. Do you know what I mean? So
but to your point earlier, though, I don't think I don't think the person's actions, because remember earlier you said it's not about the person, it's about the audience. I don't think that matters with the audience. I think the audience, if you're being authentically a dark-skinned Black woman who sincerely is from Houston, Texas, and wants to talk in a way that feeds a stereotype about Black girls from Houston, Texas, but you're being incredibly authentic, marketers are still going to find a way to turn that into a thing and capitalize on it, right? So it's actually not about you being authentic. It's about how marketable you are. And what we have to be honest is there's a certain kind of dark-skinned Black woman behavior that is hella marketable because it's comfortable. It doesn't challenge a stereotype. And so ironically, I think Cardi's a bad example for the dark-skinned Black woman thing, because dark-skinned Black women who act like Cardi are seen as very marketable. So yes, dark-skinned Black women usually get a bad rap, but a dark-skinned Black girl from the Bronx who acts like Cardi is actually incredibly fucking marketable. I think this is the one place where that example actually falls short for me, because she just so happens to be the archetype that is actually fitted on and superimposed on dark-skinned Black women in general. The hey girl from around the way with the bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, who doesn't give a fuck. Like, that's something that people expect that from me. I have been told so many times in corporate America that I was articulate, knowing they expected me to talk like a Cardi. Mind you, Cardi's being authentic, but because I'm a dark-skinned Black woman, they assumed I was going to be a Cardi, right? And so the irony of us making that argument with Cardi is she actually is exactly who is a dark-skinned Black woman. It would have still worked for her. That's why the argument makes sense in general, but in the Cardi example, I actually have to vehemently disagree. If Alandria had acted like Cardi, America would have found her endearing. I'm being honest. Not before Nicolandria. When she was with Taylor, because there have been so many times I've watched Love Island, and Serena is a perfect example.
Wait, you're saying if Alandria had acted like Cardi, then what?
I'm saying that dark-skinned Black girls who act like Cardi, it's not a surprise to anybody, doesn't challenge anybody, and if they're likable enough, it could be marketable. Because everybody's thinking about Alandria and Shelly they were too stoic and too cold because people were uncomfortable with dark-skinned Black girls being so self-possessed and not putting on the hey girl, hey persona that they assumed the girls who look like that would have. Because ironically, it wasn't authentically them. Alandria is a perfect example of a hybrid. She's a girl from the South, and she's also incredibly poised. And they were cool with the Southern part, but they weren't cool with the poised part. It's the demo. Somebody said different demo. Exactly. When we're talking about a demo like Love Island, the producers are lazy, guys. The producers are incredibly lazy on Love Island. And so Love Island is one of those tricky shows where things that might get you dragged elsewhere make you America's fave for all the wrong reasons.
But question for you, who's the barometer that gets to dictate whether how she's behaving? Do you know what I mean? Like if Alandria were to show up and behave differently, who are we to say that she would have been received differently? I know that oftentimes just socially on different shows and things like that, that might be the case. But I don't know. I'll put it to you like this. To me, Love Island and the way that it's happens in a remote kind of like isolating situation.
In a silo.
In a silo, that is like a petri dish for a social experiment, right?
Yep.
It's individuals who are reacting as they're going to react, maybe produced at times, but reacting however they're going to react, not knowing how the outside audience is going to perceive them, right? Not knowing what we think of them. Then they come outside of that petri dish and are having to interact with other environmental factors, and that's when it becomes an issue of how that person was behaving on the island compared to how they were behaving off the island, and them having to potentially adjust the way that they're behaving off the island based on the social commentary that's been happening around them.
Exactly.
For me,
so
Alandria
doesn't.
Yes, but to your point, Alandria has not changed to me.
No, Nicolandria, we changed. She didn't change. We changed.
Yeah, I guess that's the point that I'm making, because if you say, right, that if you say that, well, she presented this way in order to not get this reaction, I think Alandria has behaved the same way she's behaved even on the island.
Well, she said herself that she herself admitted, she and Shelly admitted they withheld authentic reactions because they understood as Black women, they would have a heavy hand dealt to them. So they both have admitted that they had authentic reactions that they bit back because of backlash. So I'm not assuming, I'm just speaking on their behalf. And it's a dance that Black women do a lot. They said that, the old me would have cussed you to clean the fuck out, but I know I'm on TV and I'm dark skinned. Right? And here's the thing though, right? They would have had a toxic army who would have loved them acting more like a Cardi, but that wouldn't have been authentic. What happens is authenticity has shades to it, right? I can be 90% stoic with 10% fuck around and find out. I think I'm talking, actually, that's just me. That's actually me for real life, right? Mike, you know how kind and compassionate I am. If you ask me and somebody else a question, I'm probably going to give you the softer answer, right? And yet I go viral for that 10% when I get mad. You see what I'm saying? I go viral for the 10% when I pop the fuck off, even though on the phone I'm like, give some grace, be compassionate.
We love meth.
Exactly.
Okay, we love it. We included.
I'm 90% stoic, 10% mess. I know that if I give you too much mess, you're going to turn that into the 90%.
Yeah, people will do that. Yeah,
she admitted that. And someone said the only reason we think she's boring, they called her boring until she got mad, and then they called her a mean girl. And somebody also posted that Alandria is a Southern belle with immense values. That role on Love Island specifically is always a white blonde. Every time you watch Love Island, the Southern belle is the white girl, and the country fried bumpkin is the dark-skinned Black girl. She shifted it on the paradigm. That's part of why people at first did not know how to conceptualize her, because she wasn't playing her role, because the roles are so lazy for the producers. The Southern belles on Love Island are usually the white girl. So for you to be the darkest girl in there and you're the most Southern of belles, they're like, well, nah, bitch, did you read the wrong page of the script? Like, what is you doing? All right, before we get too much into Alandria, I do want to pull back a little bit and talk about Tabitha Brown. Speaking of Southern belles and how they are perceived, I'm going to, Mike, I want you to tell the truth. I want you to be authentic.
Tell the truth. What you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that this is one of those things where this is a tricky topic, and right now the audience loves you, so the Leo and you's gonna be like, I want to keep.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say it's true. Right now, the audience loves you, thinks you're brilliant. When you read the comments back, there's 1,000 people in here, Mike, and they all love you right now. I don't want that to stop you from saying something that might piss off 600 of them.
And that's fine.
I love a Leo. This is why I fuck with y'all. Y'all always want to because y'all have the smoke. Tabitha Brown recently got in trouble. And I'm using trouble in air quotes for saying something. And I confessed that somebody said, like the live, guys. Yes, please like the live so Mike can come back. You know, do the Zach Fox meme and make it rain on Mike so he can come back. I confessed that I immediately understood why Tabitha Brown's statement pissed people off, even though I also, as an entrepreneur who knows how it ebbs and flows, and as a freelance writer, understand the pragmatic vein with which she was speaking, right? Someone brilliantly did a video translating what he thought the audience heard when Tabitha talked. I want to hear what you have to think about this translation and about your own authentic first thoughts and how they may or may not have evolved now that you've seen the backlash. Let's watch this.
You're about to play a video. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Hello there. real quick. That this is not to discourage you.
Hello there. Real quick. This gonna fuck you up.
You gotta been in this place for a long time. Okay? Now listen, you got good ideas. Baby, you got good ideas.
Your ideas are shit, as we can see.
Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And that doesn't mean it's not for you.
And entrepreneurship clearly ain't for you.
You done got yourself in some mess. And it's time for you to get a job.
You gonna need to quit whatever the fuck that is you're doing and get a job with your broke ass.
Okay, don't mean that maybe one day you could be a good entrepreneur, but you have proven to yourself and everybody else that you owe money to, okay, that it ain't working right now.
You have proven to yourself and everybody else you owe money to that you ain't shit. Yeah.
On a lot of robbing Peter to pay Paul.
And you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And bitch, now all y'all are broke.
Oh.
DEI fired.
Keep working towards it, but at least you'll have a job while you are pursuing that thing. I love you. Now go about your business. Okay, have a good night. Tomorrow have a good day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's him.
Now, go have the day you've earned. All 300,000 of you.
Somebody said that was her brother. I don't know if it is, but
no, it is. It is. The person spoofing her is her brother. So that is family to her.
Oh, that's
so I'm
amazing.
Sure she received that as like something that was funny, and I'm sure like he probably sent it to her before he even posted it.
It was brilliant.
It was great. I thought it was fantastic.
That was great.
The thing with Tabitha I love Tabitha. I've loved her since she, came out, and I've seen her rise from like the small social media stuff she was doing to like her being a mogul basically now. And I'll preface what I'm about to say by saying that as soon as you become a public figure, you are open to public scrutiny, and she knows that, and that is basically what is happening to her at the moment. I will tell you how I received, I guess, the video upon watching it. As someone who is, I think, very much like you, Blue, I can distinguish how I'm feeling about something with how someone else might feel about viewing the same thing, right? And allowing certain things and certain feelings not to be triggered based on how you might feel at the time. But knowing that like where you are emotionally isn't what that person is attacking, essentially.
Yes.
What I'll say is Tabitha's video, like there weren't many, if at all, any spaces in which she was being encouraging to entrepreneurs who might be experiencing whatever level of strife. It was very much like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, go get that job. And at times, people don't want to hear that because essentially it feels like you're kicking them while they're down, while also trying to dole out useful advice, right? Useful advice. Which is, y'all, maybe it's time to get that 9 to 5, and which, I get. And as someone who can bristle at individuals who are trying to tell me what to do when I'm already,
Leo, really? You like to bristle?
Right, as I'm already trying to do that thing, I might feel a certain way. And there's a large segment and I think part of the reason why people were saying it was kind of tone deaf is because there's a large segment of the current population who is experiencing unemployment, they are looking for work. They are trying to pull themselves up by some bootstraps. They're trying to do all these things. And last thing they would have needed in that moment is someone else who is by all means successful to come in and be like, hey, get a job. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it can come off in a
condescending
in a bad way.
It can be condescending.
Things where it's like it's intention versus impact.
Yes.
I know what she was intending to do and what she was intending to say, but there's a segment of individuals who did not receive it in that way.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. As a public figure, that is going to happen. What you say is not always going to be heralded or, completely understood by people. What I will say, though, there's another, I guess, influencer or social media public figure personality who essentially did the same thing that Tabitha did. It was like, hey, y'all, if that, if that business isn't quite working, hey, maybe try to get it.
Oh, it was the dark skin who writes on the wall.
Yeah. She does the whiteboard. She does the whiteboard stuff, right?
But she was encouraging and giving solutions, though.
That's what I'm saying. She was providing solutions, not to say that this is what Tabitha should have done, because Tabitha did what she did. She stands by it, and that's perfectly fine, and that's all well good. And folks are standing by what she said, and a lot of people understood that. The other young lady, I'm sorry, what's her name? The whiteboard?
I don't know her name.
She was like, okay, y'all, the business may not be working. Let's go ahead and try this 9 to 5. Here's some ways that you can do it at the same time. You know what I mean? So that, I guess, was the difference. Not to at all pin those two people against each other, though.
When you and I were at Soul House one time, it was a bad day for service. And I'm autistic, so nonverbal social. No, I want to talk about it.
Don't even start.
No, I want to start. We started the show went over like 40 minutes. Okay, let's start. We don't pull punches. We're authentic. That's the word of the day. You guys, because you guys know we always have a word of the day for the show. When the show is done and the live chat is over, go in the comments and say Blue and Mike are authentic as fuck. That is AF. Don't swear. So Blue and Mike are authentic AF is the code word for me to know that you
we can't swear on here?
No, we can swear, but I'm saying in the comments, I don't want a bunch of swears in my comments. I might get flagged.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So put Blue and Mike are authentic AF. Me and Mike were at Soul House. You guys know I'm autistic. So asking an autistic person to read the room is like asking Stevie Wonder to see. It's kind of inappropriate. That's literally my disability. It's quite literally my disability. So I give my friends permission to always tell me when I'm being matter of fact and authentic, incredibly authentic, to your point, Mike. Could not have been any more authentic, but I'm not reading the room about my impact. Because Mike took the class, by the way. He's an On That Shit alum. Aren't you, friend? I'm so proud of you. And he was so good in that class, guys. Mike was so good.
I learned a lot.
Oh, thank you, friend. I get excited when my friends actually come to class and I can see them getting the tools. So I was hot and frustrated, and the service was off because it was 100 degrees. It felt like on my forehead, and my umbrella was broken, and my drink took 45 minutes to show up. Objectively, that is bad service, and I have a reason to be frustrated. So whenever the waiter would walk by, I would remind him that he had failed me, and is he going to do better? And at some point, after the third failure, because I did count, Mike said, well, Blue, sometimes you can have a tone. I said, yes, I'm autistic. Please tell me whenever it comes. He said, it came, Blue. You're having a tone right now. I said, and I said, hey, perfect. So you speak to him moving forward. I'm not going to get any less frustrated. I'm still fucking hot with no drink. So you speak to him. I conceded. I did not fight him. I said, if there's a tone, I can 100% see how you got me fucked up in the fucking sun at Soho House with no umbrella and no drink for 45 minutes. While Mike is halfway done with his drink, and so is John. I can see how I might actually have a tone. You take over, right? Why y'all laughing? I'm being sincere. We're being authentic as fuck. In this moment, you can know that you had a valid feeling, because I don't think my reaction was invalid, and still recognize if I don't intend to have a negative impact while looking for a solution, it's time for me to shut the fuck up and concede that my impact and my intent are two different things. I was intending to be served properly. My impact was making the waiter frazzled. And so I said, my bad, friend, you take over. In that same vein, I show a ton of grace the first time someone's authentic and it just hits wrong, because I would be a hypocrite not to. It's the doubling down where people lose me. When you realize that your impact was not your intention and you double down, that's where I always get off the fucking train. Does that make sense where I was going with this, Mike?
Yes, it does. We're back to Tabitha. Yes, it does.
Yeah, we're back to Tabitha. Because I know what it's like to be like, nah, I'm making a good fucking point. We need to get jobs. Y'all being an entrepreneur and you selling them t-shirts, nobody want no fucking t-shirts. Pay your rent. I get her initial frustration that might have caused her to make that video. And she might have thought, I'm saying baby like I'm from New Orleans and looking into the camera and smiling, it's going to hit. And it didn't hit. But at one point, do you say, oh my God, whether I intended it or not, I had a negative impact. Let me speak to that, to those people I didn't mean to hurt. At what point do you acknowledge that your validity doesn't take away from the fact that you hurt people who love you? That's where she lost me personally, where she doubled down like we were all dummies who just didn't get it, when she might have just hurt people unintentionally, and that was a valid thing to respond to instead. Your thoughts, Mike?
You said it all.
Oh, okay, well. Thank you. It's the double and the triple down. So I actually don't disagree with Tabitha, and I get why it hurt people's feelings, because when 350,000 Black women have been let from tech jobs since June, and it's only the beginning of September, when people have been looking for jobs for 18 months, and Indeed is saying that 40% of jobs on Indeed are fake, because people are mining for resumes, but don't actually have open positions. In this ecosystem, the simple message of getting a job, it's not that simple, so you can't make it that simple if you're speaking from a place of superiority as a millionaire with a brand at Target.
So do you feel that based on where she is currently, that she's out of touch with where the regular, I guess, and please excuse my use of the term regular, but where just common folk are now?
I think that when you have really good intentions and people take it the wrong way, it's easy to internalize victim speak to the point where you stop hearing valid feedback.
Okay.
That's what I personally think happened. I think Tabitha has been dragged and misunderstood through her perspective so many times. She's now internalizing that she's a victim who's misunderstood, rather than recognizing people might be calling out valid blind spots.
Gotcha. I guess I'm not familiar with the so many times part of it, because the only two but that's what I'm saying. The only two incidences I can think of are what she said in regards to Target, and what she's saying now in regards to getting a job. So those are the only two instances that I can.
Instances are like roaches. When you see one instance, you see a 1,000 days of clapbacks and ugliness and hot take videos. So from that one Target thing, there were thousands of hot take videos where people were individually misunderstanding her in nuanced ways that probably like pissed her off. So collectively, it was an umbrella of one Target misunderstanding, but she's heavily into TikTok. She comments on people's posts. So like, oh, you got that point wrong. I didn't mean that. Oh, you got that point wrong. So that one incident could be like 100 little cuts. What's that Frida Kahlo picture? Death by 1,000 paper cuts. One incident can make you feel misunderstood 100 ways.
And here's the thing too, because I really like Tabitha. I think that, and if I can just give her some advice, or just make more of a
give her some solutions, unlike what she did in the video.
Yeah, and maybe not even solutions, but just commenting on my opinion of what I'm currently seeing.
Yeah,
basically my opinion of what I'm currently seeing, because I don't know if this is a solution and or advice at all. This is just commentary on what I've perceived thus far. She is someone who has built her following on being extremely relatable to the individuals that are consuming her content.
That's her entire brand.
That is her brand. That is her thing.
Yeah.
Now I find her at a level that is slightly removed from that audience, and that's not in a negative way. That's almost in a way of saying, okay, imagine working in a writer's room where all the individuals in that writer's room are on the same level, right? And then you get picked out of that group to be the head writer or to be the boss of all the other individuals in that room.
The showrunner.
Once you are the boss, or once you are a level up, the way that you interact with everyone else is going to naturally be different. You might still think that you're speaking amongst your people, your cohort, your whatever, but in actuality, you're not, because they perceive you slightly differently. And I can see her talking to her folks as if, like she does every day. Like she's like, these are my people. We're the same. I'm speaking to you as like a brother or a sister. But in actuality, no, because I slightly perceive you talking to me more as a parent now, because our dynamic has changed. Where you currently are has shifted. So my view of you has slightly changed, but yet you're trying to talk to me like you're a brother or sister. And for the most part, people appreciate that, and many people appreciate that, but there are some that don't, because you're speaking to them at a level that they have not achieved yet, and it almost seems as though you're talking down to them. I will say, some of her Tabitha isms, which I love and many people love, in her current situation might come across as more of like a oh bless your heart, kind of like
nice nasty stuff.
A nice nasty than it is like I'm genuinely, you know, being myself and authentically me and you know, the person you've known me to be all this time, which to her, I'm sure she is being that. I'm sure she is that. I'm just saying how it might come across to certain individuals.
It's saying lacking self-awareness. Somebody said she's lacking self-awareness, and I actually agree with that. When I worked at a nonprofit,
I guess that's what I mean. I'm saying all that to say that there's a level of self-awareness that she may not be as aware of in her current position in life, because she's still operating as the same individual that she might have been a few years ago, when she might have been more accessible and or relatable to individuals like her, like the individuals. Yeah, so it's just, there's a difference. And someone said, Anne said it came off condescending. Yeah. And the thing is, and I'm sure she did not mean for it to come off that way, but again, this is intent versus impact. There are individuals who are, because of where she is in life, because of who she is, or just because of how they're receiving her.
Somebody said, what's the difference between Cardi? Cardi has never said that she's someone who's talking sense into y'all. She's called y'all roaches. She cusses you out.
She don't care.
Cardi's never pretended to be someone who's going to teach y'all anything.
She don't care.
A street bitch who's going to talk to you like a street bitch, and if you don't like it, leave her alone. Cardi has never proposed to be relatable.
And the thing is, Tabitha, whether she meant to or not, has kind of like built her brand up to be like someone that's like, I don't know if she's Southern or not, but like someone who is.
It's very baby. I see you, baby.
Someone who feeds you the medicine with like a little bit of sugar.
Yeah.
Like she's always kind of been that person.
I will say this though, to wrap this up,
like slightly her brand.
We're going crazy in the comments about the Nicolandria and Love Island child. Before we pivot to Mike's point, and I want you guys to hear what Mike is saying.
Nicolandria.
Not you with the book. Not Nicolandria. Nicolandria. I mean, I've been calling Nick Hawaiian from Florida for a while, so y'all just hip to that. I will say this: when I was working in corporate, there was a room full of executives who would always have me as an executive assistant in their meetings, and I used to always say to them, "Why do you have me in these high-profile meetings? Right? Everybody in this room is a millionaire, but me. I'm making $60K a year." And taking the bus to work. Why am I in this meeting taking notes? And one time the CEO pulled me aside. He said, "Blue, you're here because we're stupid." I said, "What do you?" I said, "Mind you, rich white man looked like Richard Gere. He was kind of fine. I'm not even gonna hold. Shout out to Dean." And Dean's fine. I said to him, "I said, what do you mean stupid?" He said, "Blue, the higher up you get, the stupider you become because the air is rarefied up there. We have you in these meetings because you're on the ground telling us what we missed." This is a millionaire, right? Well, actually, he's probably a billionaire at this point. And that always stuck in my mind that no matter how big I get, I always make sure I have friends who are younger than me, friends who are just getting started, people who are on the ground, because the higher up I get, the dumber I get because I can't see down there. I think a lot of people don't recognize that it's ego that makes you be at the top of the mountain while talking as if you're at the bottom of the hill. That is ego. You have to admit that as you ascend, you're getting stupider because you're in rarefied air and the common man does not have the same perspective as you. And you're going to always need someone on the ground to keep you honest. And I hope that at some point, instead of Tabitha thinking we're all dumb or we all misconstrued her, she finds someone who loves her, who's like, "Hey, as your bro cousin, who I think you were subtweeting in that fucking video, let me tell you how this might have come off to me and my brethren." Sometimes all it takes is having one person you trust to keep you honest, the way Dean and them had me in that executive meeting. And it's a thing that I would tell any entrepreneur who's made it, any showrunner. Even when I was in the room with Sarita, right? Sarita is an amazing showrunner, right? She did rap shit. I watched her in the writer's room, and she would check in to make sure that she was not unintentionally not hearing everybody's voice. She always checked in to make sure, like, I'm the leader, but I also want to make sure I'm not missing anything. The sign of good leadership is to know that you cannot see everything from up there. And I wish Tabitha would ingest that and recognize, girl, you've made it. And that comes with an added responsibility and layer of detachment that you have to acknowledge. And I don't think she's acknowledged it yet. I don't think Tabitha's acknowledged that she's not one of us anymore. And that's okay. Just acknowledge that when you speak to us. Mike, did I miss anything before we pivot?
I love how you're asking me if you missed nothing. Girl, you ain't missing nothing.
He's like, bitch.
I love how you're asking me.
Now, first of all, I like the fit. I like the baby blue. Is that for me? Okay. I like the fact that you're wearing baby blue.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to Everyday People after this.
All right. I totally forgot about that shit, y'all. All right, guys, we're pivoting right now to the Ace and Speedy interview and the backlash that Shelly has gotten and our thoughts around Alandria. We're going to go through this fairly, I don't want to say quickly, but we're going to make sure that we hit all the broad strokes because I do not want to belabor Love Island content and Mike got to be outside, y'all. Now, I actually want to start. Look, Mike, did I misconstrue?
No, go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge, number one, that I do not want to start here at Shelly. I want to start at the architects of her impending potential demise, right? First, it starts with Speedy and his lack of, in my opinion, this is only opinion, I'm being subjective and objective simultaneously. I think that Speedy lacked the objectivity to do this interview in a way that wouldn't obviously cause harm to Alandria because of what Ace wanted to get off his chest. If you were going to do an interview with Ace and you knew what Ace was going to say, and Speedy didn't know what Ace wanted to talk about. I've heard it from boots on the ground. People have told me behind the scenes, Speedy knew that Ace came to choose violence. If you were going to have this conversation with Ace and you were choosing journalistic integrity, you would intentionally infuse questions to push back at him so as not to look as a co-conspirator. Speedy, in my opinion, failed at that, which immediately inherently showed a bias to me, journalistically speaking. And for those who don't know, I spent 10 years working in the news, senior writer at the Gauyo for 8 years, appeared on CNN, turned down the job. I didn't want to get, death threats. I've been in motorcades with presidents. Like, I have worked in political spaces where people are paid to disagree with you, and there's a way to do it so that everybody is safe and journalistic integrity is maintained. I think that Speedy had confirmation bias, to somebody's point, and that it seeped into the interview, and an interview that was already going to be fuck shit was 10 times worse because Speedy didn't create an ecosystem for it to even have a chance of actually being unbiased or at the very least more fair. Let's watch some videos of what people had to say about Speedy, including Mike right here in this montage. It's a montage.
I'm dead.
Speedy just came on TikTok to address all the backlash him and Ace are receiving from this interview he dropped today. And you know what he just did? He doubled down on saying that Nick and Alandria is a fake relationship. I'm going to run a little bit of the clip.
Just maybe, people are allowed to feel how they want to feel, especially when they have information that you don't have.
Then he went on to say, if we knew what he was told off camera, we would all be looking at it very different too.
I would just say maybe, just maybe, they know something that you don't. Because if what I was told off camera is true,
I personally think this is a terrible PR response to the backlash, especially with Ace admitting he hasn't talked to Nick in a while and he doesn't even know how their relationship is going because they're not in contact. This is just so weird. And if I was Alandria, I would cut Ace off.
Now, Speedy, what was the reason? Why get involved? Why go on live and make these insinuations? You're not clarifying anything. You're not giving us any new information. You're not telling us what Ace told you. Meanwhile, what Ace told you is still, in effect, his opinion of events that were taking place. And even you said out of your own mouth that if true, like even what he told you, you don't know to be true. So why even go on live, press play, or press record and make insinuations and add fuel to a fire that affects a human being?
Alandria,
what is wrong with you?
Oh. It's Mike agreeing with Mike for me.
I said what I said.
It's Mike agreeing with Mike for me.
But before we get into that, here's what I'll say about just journalistic integrity and just journalism overall. Like, yeah. Speedy isn't a journalist, and that's not a dig on Speedy. It's just there are many individuals like him who have found a platform where that interview style is very popular for them. It's very they're able to monetize it. It's profitable for them. Like, I don't expect journalistic integrity from individuals like that. Not to say that they can't present in a journalistic way.
But he's smug if he has it, though, Mike. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he has journalistic
right.
integrity.
But to your point about him being not favorable, what's not objective.
Yeah, at all.
To that point, that I don't expect that from him. But while I don't expect that from him,
not the Leo.
I also don't think that you should go on live and add, like I said, and yes, giddy or whatever the case might be, and like I said, add fuel to a fire that affects someone like Alandria. Like, that's the part where I'm like, is nobody thinking? Is no one?
Nasty work. It feels nasty to me. And somebody said Mikeception. Watch Mike. They're calling in the comments. They're calling him Mike.
Listen, I was blown away too, child. I was like,
oh no, I was blown away by myself. Such a Leo, and I'm actually happy that you are a Leo speaking to this, because I do think that if we're very honest, a lot of Ace's behavior is 23-year-old Leo male behavior. Who's over there? is Ace over there? Can we be honest, Mike, that an unevolved Leo whose ego has been bruised acts exactly like Ace, and anybody who's ever met or been an unevolved Leo is not shocked by his maneuvering?
Right. He's 23, right? He's young.
He just turned 23 a week before the interview.
Okay. He's young. He's very young. Okay.
So Ace's age, to me, is part of the reason why I'm not stunned and I am disappointed, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that Speedy's smugness and ongoing double speaks, people were like, but there's a video of Speedy saying how much he loves Alandria. The same way there's videos of Huda saying she loves Alandria. What does that mean? Telling people you love them as you dirty mac them and talk ill about them and are passive aggressive is nice nasty.
Yeah, the thing is, multiple things could be true at once.
Exactly.
Multiple
it's nice nasty. And the thing is, all he said was Alandria was beautiful. Just because you think a woman is beautiful doesn't mean you respect her. What does Speedy thinking Alandria is beautiful have to do with him still being complicit in something that hurt her?
I hear you, and here's the thing about that too. And I'll let you speak and let you kind of like say your piece in regards to Speedy and Ace and things like that. I guess where I stand with Speedy is I don't know him well enough to kind of comment on how he perceives different people or what he means by it or how he presents himself and things like that. I will say, and I will agree with you, that many things could be true at once. While he did at some point in time mention how beautiful she was Alandria. Yeah, she's stunning. She's gorgeous. Mention all those things and then go on the other side of it, go and do this. I'll say that oftentimes people don't even know what impact that they're making on another individual in the moment while they're doing it. Because it's like it could be a subconscious thing, like a conditioning, you know. Also not yes, and also not to blame it at all on conditioning, because I think that is a cop out to someone just not recognizing their own like bullshit or their own kind of like, you know, toxicities in a way. So yeah, I just don't know enough about Speedy to be like, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But
Speedy Norman is a journalist, guys, and an executive producer.
Did he go to school for journalism? Not. Well, let me pose this question to you, since you are a journalist. AI can say whatever. True. Something that's typed in yeah, something that's typed like that, like anyone can type that.
Complex as a journalist.
Right. Anyone can type that in regards to Speedy, right? Yeah. When you are a journalist, don't you have to go to school for that? Don't you have to go to school to become a journalist?
This is a perfect example, guys, and I will talk about this. There's journalism as far as you went to journalism school, and then there's journalism as far as you are a professional journalist who's being paid professionally to be a journalist for a significant amount of time. So, perfect example. I went to
yes, those are the two instances, and I would validate that.
Yes. So I went to school for communications and then spent 12 years being hired as only a journalist.
Right.
And so there are people who went to journalism school,
abiding by journalistic practices also.
Exactly, heavily because it was because of a publication, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So me and Speedy are the same way. I went to school for communications. Spent 12 years being paid as a journalist, had to live up to journalistic integrity as a way of me like keeping my fucking job. And there are people who went to school for journalism, not communications, who went to school for journalism but didn't get no traction and would get mad like, why is Blue getting all the stories? And they were like, yes, you went to school for journalism, but she's better at it. So respectfully, and she knows who she is. One of my biggest ops still watches my life. What's up, girl? You know who you are. So as someone who did not go to journalism school, but did it at a higher rate than those who did, I will say that if you are getting paid on your taxes as a journalist from a major publication for a significant amount of time, you actually, in my opinion, are a working journalist. In the same way that someone who didn't go to school for writing, if they were on their 5th show and is now a showrunner, I'm not going to say you're not a writer because you didn't go to a writing program, right? It's one of those things.
No, I get that. Yes.
So Speedy worked for Complex as a journalist. He has been hired on his taxes as a journalist. And he was beloved as the young nigga with sense. So when you're getting paid to be a journalist and you're supposed to be one of the good ones, you in cahoots with Ace is going to disappoint your audience of female followers who thought you were a safe gatekeeper on behalf of the other YNs.
Okay, great. And I'm glad you've made this clarification, because based on what I said earlier about him, journalistic integrity, or him not necessarily being a journalist. Okay, now we know that he is a journalist. Okay, fine. Now here's what I'm going to say about journalists and or just certain journalists, right?
Certain ones, yeah.
No, here's the thing. In today's climate, today's time, with social media the way that it is, a lot of journalists are not just journalists. They are also personalities.
That part.
And what is happening now is some of these journalists are not necessarily just leading with with their moral compass of being a journalist and what journalistic practices used to be compared to where they are now. They are also leaning into their personality, and what they are known for being, a personality. You can say that of Speedy. You can say that of Joy Reid.
Everybody go follow Mike. Everybody go follow Mike. Yes, follow Mike right the fuck now.
Speedy. You can say that of Joy Reid. You can say that of.
I work with Joy Reid. Me and Joy Reid.
Who's the person on CNN again? Don Lemon. You can say that of Don Lemon. You can say that. You can say that even of a lot of the Fox Let me not. I was about to say journalists. Many of the Fox correspondents and personalities, because of social media, because of the fact that not just on that news platform or whatever work platform that they're on, they also have fans on their personality, whatever it might be, platforms that they also have to cater to. So oftentimes I feel like what happens is that journalistic integrity or that journalist having to do this with the personality is what gets us into a situation like Speedy finds himself in.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my final answer on the Speedy of it all. Like, please, gone are the days of like journalistic integrity. Gone are the days of having a bar and or criteria for what it means to be a journalist. Barbara Walters, God bless her soul, child. The Barbara Walters, gone. Okay. Yeah. What, like, who else? Barbara Walters.
Oprah back in the day.
Oprah back.
No, back in the day she had journalistic.
Back in the day, Oprah, yes. Maybe back in the day, Oprah, yes. But what are some of the from 2020? What are some of those?
Robin Roberts,
like boom, Robin Roberts, even yes, and also maybe even. I wouldn't even put Gail in there because Gail's been
Gail's the first wife, man. Gail's the first lady lately. The first lady of Harpo.
But like that's I guess are my feelings on modern day, current day journalists who are also catering to their own fandom.
My Cuban sis Soledad O'Brien is a great journalist, and she's
Soledad.
She's one of the ones who I feel like is a fossil.
But here's the thing, though: Soledad is not someone that caters to or leans heavily into needing to have her own personality on social media.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you know who else is also like that?
His degrees in broadcast journalism.
You know who else is also like that? She has a show on CNN at 7 p.m. Like it's like a panel of like
Abby.
Like a panel. Is it Abby? Yes.
Black girl, Abby.
Yes, Abby. Like she's someone else that I'm also like. She tries her best. She tries her very best to kind of like remain calm and not like talk her shit like she wants to, because she can if she wanted to. She's another one that I feel like I'm here to do my job. I'm here to not be biased and to deliver the news and to be essentially a journalist. Like, I feel like she's another one that's like that. But yeah, like there are personality. Yes, Abby, is it Abby Martin?
Yeah.
I feel like she's another one that's like, she doesn't need this like personal kind of like limelight of being known as a personality, because as soon as you have that, and as soon as you have that audience, it's always going to combat your journalistic integrity. Always.
I actually love that you said that, Mike, because you're so brilliant. I'm so happy you came on the show, Mike, because the audience, first of all, a lot of them are like, oh wait, I already follow him, and now they're all sharing your information in the chat. Mike, when you watch this back, watch the live chat so people can see and fall in love with you. Somebody said Abby Phillips. Which one is it? Is it Abby Phillips?
Abby Phillips. Yeah, I thought so. I was like, Abby Martin. That doesn't sound.
It's Abby Phillips. Right.
Abby Phillips. Yeah, Abby Phillips.
When I was deep in my journalism bag, I intentionally kept my following under 20K at all times. I was not a personality. And to your point, a lot of times when people would see me on these big platforms, they're like, well, Blue, why don't you have a bigger following? I was like, I'm getting paid 6 figures already. I don't need to tap dance for a following. Ooh. I want to maintain my journalistic. I'm being so serious. Okay? If I'm getting a 6-figure salary to be a journalist with only 2,000 followers, that's working for me, honey. Hello. That's working for me. Hello. I did not start being in front of the camera. In fact, there was a moment where the griot said, I'm breaking the fourth wall here. Blue, you are on Hollywood Unlocked as a personality. You're on Fox Soul as a personality. We heard you on iHeartRadio. That is a conflict. The griot told me, you're becoming a personality, and you're not becoming a news personality. You're becoming a social commentary personality, which is something that we usually have in your articles. And for about 2 years, there was a beef between me working with Hollywood Unlocked and working with the griot, because they were concerned about my personality taking over, me being the girl on the byline who was going viral as the anonymous name writing all the articles. So to your point, Mike, I personally I made a choice. Well, y'all saw what I chose. I left. How you doing? Right? And the funny thing is, I make as much money now as a social commentarian as I did as a journalist. But I had to intentionally pivot. I think Speedy hasn't been honest about where his bread is buttered. And this interview was the most heavy-handed way, because they said they looked him up on his LinkedIn. He went to school for journalism. His interview was the most heavy-handed way that the mask fell off for those of us who thought he still had some. Those of us who thought Speedy had journalistic integrity, the Ace interview cleared that up for. I'm no longer confused about where Speedy stands. Now let's talk about the Ace backlash. Another montage, and Mike, you're in this as well, because I want my people to find you. Look, my exception, part 2. Don't worry, somewhere in the middle. Let's check this out. What happened with Ace and his response to...
I know exactly what video you're talking about, because I was in my kitchen at like 3 a.m. eating oranges, y'all.
First of all, I had to speed it up because you made me want oranges. I was like, oh, good. I was so distracted.
It was one of like late night rants.
But I appreciate the late night rants. It was authentic.
That's too funny.
Protect Black women until it's Alandria. Ace, step into my office. And Speedy, I'm not coming up off your ass either. The fact that Speedy, you can ask Ace in great detail if Nick and Alandria is a real legitimate couple, but you never mentioned that Taylor couldn't keep his hands off of Clark.
When I first met her, she got the camera. Girls wearing the same things on different episodes. Actually, no. She bit the dust one time.
Lets me know your intention. The fact that you can ask Ace in great detail about if Nick could really like Alandria, or if it's a fetish, or if he's using her, but not Brian, who said on the fucking finale that he was gonna donate his money just to turn up at an interview and say he bought a Rolex with the earnings. That lets me know your intention. The fact that, Ace, you can say you care for Black women and embarrass Shelly, because now Shelly's in between her best friend and her man, to make the hate worse for Shelly, to make people hate Shelly, to make people dislike Shelly even more because of you, lets me know that you don't care for Black women like you say you do. And if you did care for Black women like you say you do, you would have called Alandria if you were really that concerned about if Nick really liked her or not. And the fact that you can say that Taylor is your good friend, knowing he was mushing Clark on live repeatedly, lets me know where you stand. This was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And my heart breaks for Alandria because she was getting hated on while she was in the villa. She was getting hated on when she came out of the villa because of the hood rats and hoodlum and Hulu. And now she's going to be hated on for the third time. Great fucking job.
My gut told me something's wrong with Ace. But I was on the Shelly train. I'm a huge Shelly fan. Shout out to the Haitians, like I said, I can. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna set my feelings aside, my gut feelings aside, and I'm gonna ride for them. But I should have listened to my fucking gut feeling. Because I knew Ace wasn't shit.
Oh.
And high key, Ace wasn't shit on the villa either.
Oh.
Okay? He was the male version of Huda, quiet as it's kept. So, all the backlash he said he was receiving, and how no one came to his aid when people were coming to his aid post the villa. People were coming to his aid post the villa. And now he was being demonized for not, for not being the one person that they said he was, and yada, yada, yada. But we saw your true colors. Even while you were on this damn Speedy podcast, shelling out information about what the producers were doing behind the scenes. And yet, you didn't bring up the main producer. You were helping the producers achieve what they wanted to achieve. So how are you infallible? You really were the ringleader.
Everybody's eating oranges. You should do a orange commercial.
Anyway, folks. I always listen to your gut. When something is telling you something is fucking fishy and ain't right about a person.
Yeah, I love me some tangerines, yo.
Now here's Ace's response.
It does know our people, everything on the internet. Hey, you can't keep us down till Ace 5. I'm outside with Larry. We at the Ciroc event. We doing expensive shit. Stop playing with him. We outside. Clock.
Yeah, man, I got all this energy. Y'all ain't know I can dance, can act, and can rap.
You made a music video the very next day.
Come take a class. I ain't playing with none of y'all. It's built to ass. With all the phase and the extras, that's off the bat. But I promote world because I got some class. This year I'm on the run. Peekaboo, Ace here. You ain't talking about nothing. I just booked a talk show with Jennifer Hudson. I can make a rap song without even cussing.
So while everybody is telling Ace that he caused harm and Mike is fucking up that tangerine, Ace is out here stunting.
Here before we get into, and listen, this is just social commentary. We're all having fun with this. We're all having a good time. Things, yada yada yada. I'm happy to see Ace having a great time, Shelly having a great time, Alandria enjoying herself. I'm happy to see all these, I say young Black folks because I'm 40. I just turned 40. So I'm happy to see them enjoying themselves and popping off and doing their thing. Like, that's amazing. Like, it's fantastic. And the thing is, they're young. A lot of the ways in which they're behaving now, they very well may see that shit differently in the next 15 to 20 years. You know what I mean? So we're commenting on what they're currently saying, how they're feeling now, but not to say that they may feel that later down the line. All that being said, Ace.
From a 40-year-old Leo to a 23-year-old Leo, you both just turned your ages. You both had a birthday, so listen to your Leo brother.
We did. Here's the thing. I don't know if Ace will. No one can necessarily dictate when someone will change or if they will ever change, right? Yeah. And I can't. That's not something I can ask of that person. What I will say is that how Ace was behaving on that interview very much speaks to his sign, very much speaks to his level of maturity, and the emotional intelligence that a lot of us have been heralding him for, but doesn't seem like it is at the point in which we thought it might be.
Yeah.
I was disappointed. He didn't think of Alandria at all, and he made those comments about Nick. And here's the thing. Here's what I'll say about that. he may in that time, or whenever he may have talked to Nick or have like interacted with him or whatever the case might be, they might have very well been on the same page at some point in regards to the way they were operating at that time versus how they're currently operating individually and within their two different couples, right?
Yeah.
What Ace said about Nick and about basically insinuating that they're in a fake relationship.
Nasty work.
Yes, nasty work, especially considering you're not taking Alandria's feelings into account and you're saying that is a friend of yours. That
and
is
both
not
of you are single. Neither of you have a girlfriend.
That information is not information that I would have taken to a public platform like Speedy's platform and just delivered to audiences across the world. That's not something
a day before a rollout. A day before your rollout.
I would have kept that privately amongst the group and like had that discussion amongst the group. But here's the thing. Even if Ace might have been true at that moment, I very much believe that Nick and Alandria's relationship and or love and or interest in each other was blossomed outside of the villa.
We saw it, yeah.
We've seen it happening in real time, right? Like we've seen them interacting together. Generally seem blindsided. Yeah, Nick did seem blindsided by that.
Broke my heart for him a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, that's not something that you should have shared. However true that it might have been for you at that time. But the thing is, by the time you did that interview, by the time you may have talked to Nick, by the time y'all had gotten out of the villa and y'all had your little conversations and like, you know, were around each other, there's a lot of time that has passed between now and then that you may know nothing about. So because you might know nothing about that, why would you go on an interview and say all that about Nick when you may not even know the same Nick from a month and a half ago or a month ago compared to the Nick that you know now? Yeah. Nick and Alandria seem like they're very much a unit. They seem like they're getting to know each other. They really like and enjoy each other.
Their families are invested. Their communities
they just claimed boyfriend, girlfriend, just.
They're official. Yeah. Nick and Alandria are official, guys. It was just announced a day ago.
They're just official. So to me, it feels like they got off the island and they both made a decision to be like, hey, I genuinely want to get to know you. And Alandria said the same, like, I genuinely want to get to know you. And they have taken those steps towards getting to know each other and being in a very public relationship. They've gone about it the right way to me. I feel like I'm getting off course in terms of the whole Ace of it all. To close out Ace, I just feel like a few things have happened. Whether he wants to admit that or not, a few things have taken place.
Yeah.
I feel like there is some jealousy.
Absolutely.
That is brewing in terms of where Nick and Alandria are versus where Ace and Shelly are. And as someone who is, I guess, a former toxic Leo, I'm still working on me, y'all. I would say that, like, I can see Ace as a Leo feeling a ways about the success that Nick and Alandria has garnered versus what he thought he was going to garner.
Yeah.
Like what he thought he was going to have. And I only say that because Ace put so much emphasis in his interview on the amount of followers that he had.
I have 1 million followers. I don't need 1 million more.
Before going into the villa. And he tried to make it seem as though he didn't care about his following or the following that he was going to receive because he had already had so much.
Yep.
And for an individual that brings it up that much in one interview, you know, they care. They're going to feel a ways about the attention that another couple is getting. Yeah. Also, keep in mind that Ace felt a way about Nick not saying that they should have been the two couples left standing.
Yep.
And he felt triggered about that. That's his ego.
That's very much
his ego being triggered. So that's also his ego responding in regards to the Nick of it all. So much so that he did not think about Alandria. As emotionally intelligent as he might be, he was not thinking about Alandria. The only thing that was operating in the moment was his ego, and his ego felt attacked.
In the class, Mike, we do free game on here, and I taught everybody that the word for what Ace did is called virtue signaling, where you use a virtue as a way to silence people's reasonable pushback. Well, I'm just honest. I'm so fucking honest. I keep it real. I'm the realest nigga to ever live. Yes, and you hurt somebody unnecessarily because your ego was having a tantrum. And what's funny is one of the moments that made me realize I found so many clips to disprove Ace's thing that Alandria and Nick didn't have his back. Even at the reunion, there was a pre-interview where they asked Alandria and Nick, who are you looking forward to seeing at the interview? Because you've been traveling so much. Alandria and Nick, without even thinking, both said Ace and Shelly. Ace and Shelly said everybody. And watch this. It was one of those like subtle moments of shade where you're like,
because she's my bestie.
Excited to see Ace. He's one of my best friends. It's gonna be a good time.
Excited to see some of the girls we didn't really get to spend a lot of time yet.
I'm excited to see everybody because I haven't got a chance to catch up with some.
Watch out again. They asked them, so who are you really, really excited to see? They assumed, the interviewers assumed the core four would say each other. And the fact that Ace and Shelly both made it a point to say, I want to see everybody and not name anybody and not answer the question, while Nick and Alandria are just being authentic and say, I can't wait to see Shelly. I want her to be my roommate when I move to LA. And Nick's like, well, Ace, that's my bro. That's my bro. Like up until the day of Speedy's interview, Nick was in the comments for the promo, hyping Ace up, saying, I can't wait to see your interview. I'm proud of you, et cetera, et cetera. So imagine you hype somebody up for an interview and then you realize the interview is about you. Watch this again.
But that's also another one of our faults as Leo's hypocrisy. We could be
Shelly because she's my bestie.
Excited to see Ace. He's one of my best friends. It's gonna be a good time.
Excited to see some of the girls we didn't really get to spend a lot of time yet.
I'm excited to see everybody because I haven't got a chance.
Yeah. At some point during the interview, the Speedy interview, Ace mentioned what I just said about like how Nick said one thing behind the cameras, but on camera said another thing about, who should have been the top four, right? And gave like more of like a politically correct answer. But the thing is, Ace just gave a very politically correct answer in that interview by answering that question. So
Ace was colluding with the producers. You can't collude with the producers and talk about political correctness.
But that's why I'm talking about like hypocrisy. Like it was hypocritical of him to say that.
I love how Mike can always point out when a Leo's being a hypocrite because, again, Mike, up until I met you, didn't know that was a thing. There was a psychic who actually went viral. Look at Mike. He's like, I've been working on me. Shout out to you in class. Shout out to your therapist. Shout out to all the friends. And here's the thing I love about Mike that I want Ace to grow into. If Mike asks me my opinion about something and I'm being autistic and having journalistic integrity and I give him an answer he don't like, his first reaction was like, okay, well, since you went to college, I think you know every fucking thing. But then he'll pause. And he'll ruminate on it and be like, you know what, Blue? My feelings were valid. And I can see the other side now that I've thought about it.
Most times I'll pause. Sometimes I'm like, girl, I ain't trying to hear shit you saying right now. But most times I'll pause. Yeah, true.
But the thing is, though, I love that you will honor the Leo in you that just wants to be right. You'll be like, Blue, honestly, I just wanted to be right. What are you doing right now? And then you'll smirk. Look at the smirk. You'll be like, okay, nigga, that's actually hypocrisy. You asked the lady what she thought and she told you. And you'll circle back and be like, friend, my feelings were valid and I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
A part of me kept hoping that someone would have that relationship with Ace. I kept hoping. Because when I saw him at Disney World clapping for Alandria and Nick as they're kissing and the cameras are rolling, I was so excited, right? Now, here's a psychic. I'm going to show this psychic. Mind you, this psychic, take it with a grain of salt. A broken clock is right twice a day. She said other things that were completely fucking wrong. So this is not somebody that I'm recommending y'all go find on TikTok. I'm not endorsing her. But she did have an interesting read on the relationship between Taylor, Ace, and Nick at the beginning of the season that I think might have been her big one before she started being on the wrong side of history. Watch this.
Here's my take on the Three Musketeers based on astrology. I know people are referring to them as the new PPG, but I'm going to hold off on that for now because I don't think this trio is going to last. So the reason why I think that they are all getting along really well right now is because Taylor has a Gemini Mars, Ace has a Leo Mars, and then Nick has a Sagittarius Mars. And so all those combining together, they do make good aspects to each other. So I think that they do just have a lot of fun together. They love the gag, they love the bit, they love the banter that they have with each other. And one of their Jupiters conjoins the other one's Venus, which is also pretty sweet. So there's just like a cute softness between the two of them. The issue comes with these two. Ace and Nick have some interesting things going on between them. Their Mercuries oppose each other, their moons oppose each other, and their Venuses oppose each other. So they are very different people, and they like to do things opposite of each other. And that can feel kind of annoying. Oppositions alone aren't bad, but when everything's in opposition, it literally feels like that person is becoming your op. Like they are doing exactly the opposite of what you're doing and like thinking that it's right. So that can end up becoming tense.
I see your comment, Jay.
Nick's moon is also on Ace's Neptune. So Ace probably feels confused by Nick. He probably feels like he's not getting a really good read on him all the time, or that he doesn't really understand who Nick is and what he stands for and what he's feeling inside. And so on top of all of the other opposite...
Pause. You hear what she said? I, as somebody who's dated 50-11 Leos, my daddy's a Leo, so I came from one. If a Leo does not understand what you're doing, they go straight to being suspicious. Mike, can you co-sign that? You guys are prone to suspicion a little bit. Like, you're like, what's that? If 1 + 1 is 4,
we're gonna question it, yeah.
So because Nick is just a natural...
let me speak for myself. I know I would question it. Yeah.
So Nick is a naturally, how do I say it? Nick is a outgoing person who's also very sensitive and loyal. And there are many times where Ace was giving Nick a sincere side eye, like, I wouldn't move like that. And rather than accept that you're just different, I'm thinking you want some funny shit. So now I'm seeing you as a potential op. She's talking about how, astrologically speaking, Nick just naturally being Nick is so different from how Ace moves, but Ace enjoys Nick. It's this weird, I like you, but can I trust you? I like you, but can I trust you? And when you already feel like...
I don't think there's a question. I think I like you, but I don't trust you.
Yeah. Oh, I was trying to be nice, Mike. Okay. So let's
yeah.
Ace is probably just like, who is this man? What is he doing? And then Nick's Mars is also on Ace's South node. And in a positive sense, this can help like lower Nick's aggression at times. Like Ace could be someone that teaches him how to calm down. And
so this is important, guys. Nick is an alpha who does not mind playing beta to Ace because he likes Ace so much, he doesn't mind being the sidekick. Can I be honest? I'm an alpha who does not mind playing beta when I'm around people who are alphas who I really enjoy.
Same.
So in Nick's mind, he's like, oh, I'm usually Frico Nico. I'm usually Big Dick Willie. But this person who is fun and I enjoy him wants to be in charge. I'll let him have it. Mike and I went on vacation, right? One of our friends is alpha and want to take care of everything. Mike and I were like, bitch, say less. We love you. Thank you. Take care of everything. We don't mind it. And so Ace mistook Nick not minding playing beta for Nick actually being beta. So when Nick came out of the fucking villa and went back to being alpha and like not doing Ace's whatever, Ace took that as an affront. Like, I thought you were one of my soldiers. The whole time you were a fellow general who was just playing me. In Ace's mind, that's duplicitous. Ace perceived that, in my opinion. Can I pull cards on this?
Also, I would not put it past Ace to also feel away with the producers, because if he played ball in the villa for that long and kind
why
of
did I get the edit I wanted?
Why did I not get the edit that I wanted?
Exactly.
And I think a lot of Ace's gripe is also with the producers.
Which is why he narked on them.
Essentially, what he felt as though he may have been owed by them in terms of doing their bidding, whatever it is, or that camaraderie, that kinship, or that friendship, whatever they had, that loyalty, that it may have seemed that way.
Yeah.
After the villa, he may feel as though they did not own up to their promise to him.
That part.
So
and I think that's so important.
I think that's something else that's not being said, because he,
it looks
bad. He
bad.
mentioned the producers a lot too during his interview.
Here's the thing I want to show you that I can show empathy to Ace, but it's my empathy for Ace that's making me have to call bullshit in my mind, because it's so actually scary how well I can tap into a Leo's mind, because I've been around so many of them and I have such a warm feeling for them. Ace thought, I have 1 million followers and I am going to go on this show and get 1 million more. So him saying he wasn't looking for 1 million more, flat out fucking lie. So that's the first lie of the fucking episode, right? He did want 1 million more followers. That's a stupid rhetoric. People with 1 million followers go on TV to get 1 million more, dummy. So he's thinking, I'm already likable. I'm handsome. The producers and I are in cahoots with each other. I already know that everybody in the villa loves me. I got one of the baddest bitches in the villa is a girl that I already knew, and I know she wants me. I'm gonna keep her on her toes with Amaya because it's good for the fucking story. For those who were confused about Amaya was good for the story because Ace always knew he would go back to Shelly. So in his mind, he is a puppeteer. Then he starts to see, wait a minute, when it comes to the time for Nick to leave, I'm upset because I thought that I had a plan for Nick to pick somebody and Taylor to pick somebody so all three of us could stay. Nick gets voted out and I'm devastated because one of my best soldiers, my favorite soldier, I do think that while he was more fond of Taylor, he actually enjoyed Nick more. My favorite soldier just got fucking voted out. So now I'm crying in the rain like a Jodeci video because I thought I lost my best soldier, right? Sobbing. When I find out that he has to come back by using the dumb dark-skinned girl that me and Taylor were playing her feelings with, I don't mind Alandria being used once again to make my boys look good. So I will pretend like I'm happy that she's back, even though it's with Alandria, because I already used Alandria to keep Taylor safe. I don't mind using Alandria to keep Nick safe. Think about that, guys. He admitted that he was working with Taylor when the producers wanted Taylor to be with Alandria, even though Taylor wasn't attracted to her. So you were already a co-conspirator and making sure that Taylor knew how to love bomb her properly because Taylor's a soft stud from wherever who doesn't know how to love bomb properly, right? We watched that episode where he said, nah, she likes her pancakes crispy, do this. We saw him giving Taylor tips about how to win Alandria back from Jalen, who actually liked Alandria. So you actively already use Alandria to keep Taylor in. So you don't mind when the producers use Alandria to keep Nick in. Do y'all see what I'm going with this, right? Alandria is just a pawn to keep your boys in because it's squat up. When Nick starts pushing back and saying, hey, Clark, I know you cool, you cute and everything, but we're not voting out Alandria. You're like, excuse me, nigga? Like, I thought I was in charge here. What you mean you're going to cape for Alandria? I thought we were just using Alandria as a pawn. You actually like this bitch? At that moment, that's the first crack because now Nick is like, hey, I don't mind playing along unless it's about Alandria. I don't fucking play about Alandria. Nick not playing about Alandria is why Ace got annoyed because Nick was supposed to be a pawn as well, a soldier for him, right? Now I come out the villa, I'm thinking it's weird that we got voted out. So me and the producers got beef because me and my girl were supposed to win or at least make top 3. But Nick and Alandria, if y'all like Nick and Alandria, that's cute. There'll be cute sidekicks for me and my girl when we come on the outside because the producers already fucked me up. So when he comes out, he's only mad at the producers thinking that Nick and Alandria are a nice prop for him. He's thinking, oh, Nick and Alandria and Taylor and Clark are all going to prop me and Shelly up until he realizes he's that prom queen. Now, not only is he mad at the producers, now he's mad at Nick. But before you turn on your soldier, what do? You say, Nick, you don't think it's fucked up that we got voted out? Nick's like, yeah, I was shocked because I thought you and Shelly were going to be A1 day ones. I thought y'all were the fan favorites. We thought you were mom and dad in the villa. I think it's fucked up. That's what any friend would say if they thought that their friend was Beyonce, right? When Nick and Alandria realized that they were actually Beyonce, what did they do in all those interviews? We talked about in the previous live. They kept saying, we're stunned that you guys didn't realize how amazing Ace and Shelly was. There's even an interview at Variety where Alandria is sitting there. They're like, Alandria, do you agree with the audience? She says, yes, I agree with the audience for the most part because they saw things I did not see. Shit, they saw Nicolandria before I saw it, right? So Alandria's like, I have to concede to the audience because they saw my man before I did. So I already have to concede because y'all got me this nigga. I didn't know he was in love with me. However, the one thing I will say that I do not agree with is y'all voting Shelly as fake because that's my bitch. Alandria and Nick have very vocally said we fuck with Ace and Shelly so hard, we're surprised y'all don't love them more because those are our day ones. All Ace is hearing is you didn't go hard enough for us. You're supposed to say that we should have been you instead. Am I wrong, Mike? As a Leo, am I missing anything?
No, shall speak.
I understand how Ace got here and it's all ego. It's not honesty. He's fooled himself into thinking it's honesty because he feels betrayed. But the fact is he betrayed his fucking self. And now Shelly and Alandria are getting the blowback. But unlike Shelly, Alandria has a man who puts her ahead of his ego. That's why Alandria's okay and Shelly's not. Unlike Shelly, Alandria has a man who protects her. That's why Alandria's okay and Shelly's fucking not. Let's see Shelly's response finding out that she's in a lesbian relationship with a bad bitch.
Guys, Shelly's comment section is a scary place right now because everyone is calling her out, wanting her to speak out on what Ace said about Alandria and Nick on that recent interview. In the interview, he said that Nick and Alandria, yes, are attracted to each other, but there is no romantic spark, and that was like the latest update that he got from Nick. Basically saying that Nick and Nicolandria are not real. And he was also calling out Nick, not publicly defending him, and said that they are just not friends like they were today. She was clapping back. Someone said, "You and your man are odd individuals," and she apparently said, "An opinion of yours, but a fact is you don't know me and I don't care to know you." Someone else said, "She forever will be no accountability queen," and she commented, "confused." Someone else said, "So disappointed," and she said, "Don't be, enjoy your day, love." These comments were under a post that she did that featured BTS of a new shoot that she did, but her recent birthday post also had a ton of...
Hello? What happened?
It's not an episode of the live unless I get kicked off. This has become a joke.
Oh, okay, you got kicked off. I was like, damn, it was getting good.
Because the auntie in me is always pushing buttons, and so I always push that one button that kicks me out, but I can't figure out what it is. I will go right back. Let's not. First of all, were you watching the baby on our behalf, Mike? You watching the baby for me when I left?
The baby being this?
Yeah, the audience.
I sure was, because I was like, am I here by myself?
Okay, so somebody said it happens every live.
You're alone. Shelly, like, in my mind, I literally thought she was like gonna be like the people's princess. Like, I loved her so much. I thought she was such an unproblematic queen. The only time that I was like not really agreeing with her was when she like the only thing I didn't like about her was that she was with Ace, which is not even like her, I guess, but you are who you hang out with. Now I'm just like seeing all this hate towards Shelly, and I don't really get it. I think some of it maybe comes from like the Huda situation, which in my mind was completely justified of Shelly, because like I also would be really mad at my friend for doing that. And but I don't know, maybe there's something I'm not seeing, but I'm just seeing everyone like on the Shelly hate train, and I just like really don't understand it.
Did you guys see Shelly's comment under Revolt's post of Alandria at the tennis US opening? Right here. Eight. So that's something, right, guys? That's something, right?
That's something.
Taylor did do an interview yesterday saying that Shelly specifically told him that she was happy that he picked Clark. First question is, why is anyone giving Taylor an interview at this point? But I digress. How are people surprised that Shelly did this? Do you guys not remember that Alandria came to maybe Shelly and Sierra like being like, you know, he's dealing with Clark and like, should I still pursue him? Does he still like me? And Shelly was like, yeah, like go get your man. Like he likes you. Like it's for you. That moment there, that's when I had her number, because there's no way that you see your girl's boy going for someone else and are like, no, like keep pursuing him, like keep your foot on the gas, like da da da. No, like she was telling her to embarrass herself. Let's not forget during that one interview when Shelly had to call like a male islander and she calls Taylor. That's suspicious. That's weird.
So I'm making this video for Shelly because she's always genuinely confused. I'm like, every time I'm genuinely confused. Like, what is you confused about?
In the villa, I was so confused. I'm genuinely confused. I was so confused. Like, I'm fucking confused. I'm genuinely confused. Confused.
That concerns me because Mike, in class, what do we always say? Confusion is usually a lie. So that upset Shelly always saying she's confused when shit gets a little funny. I do think it's manipulative. I love Shelly and
saying that you're confused is a cop out to not wanting to express how you really feel about a situation.
To the point where it becomes your tagline.
To comp to the fact that you know more than you are letting on.
That part.
I don't know if it's just mom in me or if it's just a 30-something-year-old woman. And all I can think about is if I were Nick and Alandria's parent, I would walk up into their room, sit them on the bed, lean over and let them know, Ace, Shelly, and Taylor, they're not your friends. I was feeling it in the villa. What solidified it for me when Ace and Shelly got voted off, they didn't root for Nick and Alandria to win. They chose Amaya. That was interesting. The Hamptons did a number on me too. That was just fake love, if you ask me. This whole situation with the interview and them all working together, that was strange. I don't know if you saw that video of Alandria when she stepped up on the stage for Shelly's birthday and the crowd went crazy, and the look of surprise that Shelly had. People thought it was cute, but I didn't. That was very strange behavior. But when Alandria kept saying she can't wait to see her soul sister, but her soul sister was hanging out with the girl. And don't get me wrong, when I watched the show, honestly, Ace and Shelly were one of my favorites. Oh goodness. And this, like, don't hate me for this, but this is just the mom. I would have a very special conversation with Alandria and let her know, if somebody loves you and they truly, truly care about you deeply, I cannot see it being that easy to kiki with someone that hates you.
Mike, you know, Shelly's our Haitian sister, and so I'm going to always give her grace because I don't like the idea of women paying for the sins of men. I don't like the idea of us always rushing to call Shelly a mean girl. And Michelle, you've made this tricky for me. In the words of Cat Williams, your allegiance to losers has made this tricky for me. Mike, what are your thoughts now that you've seen? Oh, look at Mike's face. We have to be fair, Mike. We can't go on Speedy's objectivity and not be objective. We have, even though she's our Haitian.
I know. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair. Here are my thoughts on Shelly.
I'm so conflicted.
I'll actually go back to something that we were discussing earlier in terms of authenticity and about how these two young Black women showed up on the villa and how they were careful of how to show up.
Yes,
Once they were being careful of how to show up, they were self-producing themselves.
Yeah.
But for Alandria, I don't think Alandria was self-producing in terms of trying to get the audience to see her a certain way. She was more so acting and reacting a certain way to protect herself from how she might be viewed. And that's naturally what a Black woman does by default in whatever situation she might find herself in.
Exactly.
The difference for me is Shelly was self-producing in terms of what she would look like on the show and how whatever she would look like would garner her certain attention outside of the show.
And her relationship with Ace.
And her relationship with Ace. And I think that while I was talking about in my TikTok about Ace being the other producer that wasn't being mentioned, I feel similarly about Shelly. But the difference is Shelly is smarter. Shelly is not going to go on an interview and talk about this, that, and the other thing.
Well, she's also older too. She's 28.
I feel it, and she's older, and she knows better. She knows how to move, and she knows how to maneuver. My thing with Shelly, and I love Shelly, but the thing is, I might love Shelly for some of the reasons in which you may not like Shelly. In that Shelly is someone who acts and doesn't have to necessarily speak and or react because she knows that the ways in which she might be reacting might be seen unfavorably and at the end of the day hurt her bag. And I see Shelly as someone who is a businesswoman and entrepreneur even before coming on the show.
I agree.
Right? Many of these contestants, because that's what they are, contestants, came onto the show with certain followings, knowing what the show can garner them after. Because it's season 7. You know what the show can do for you.
And season 6
let's not act stupid. So let's not act stupid like as if you coming outside of the show is going to be about whether or not you fell in love with someone. No, it's going to be about these brand deals that you're trying to get based on the following that you've garnered and based on the favoritism that you've received from the fans.
Yeah.
That is what it's about at the end of the day. I think Shelly has been very smart in how she has been moving. Not to say it's been right. Let's not conflate smart with right.
True.
I'm saying she's been very smart about it. And that's what attracts me to Shelly is like as a person. She's a very smart girl. She's a very, very smart girl.
She's a Virgo. Of course she's a smart girl.
She's a Virgo.
I will say this. I find that funny though, Mike. Hypocrisy intact. This is actually pointing out Ace's hypocrisy by you saying that.
Yeah.
Because if Shelly's the kind who says, I'm not going to pick sides and still hang out with Sierra, despite Sierra being the #1 hater, the most vocal hater of Nicolandria from the cast, despite the fact that Sierra's always making subs about Nick and Olandria, I'm still going to take pictures with her. Not only just hang out with her, but take pictures and post myself with Sierra. If Shelly's allowed to hang out with Sierra, why aren't Nick and Olandria allowed to say that the audience chose who they wanted?
You're talking about Ace.
Yes, because Ace and Shelly, let's be honest, Ace and Shelly, we do pillow talk happens. We're not going to pretend that we don't think that Ace and Shelly talk.
I'm sure that they talk, and I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure.
I will say I can't say too much, but I have heard from people who are in the camps. Oh, I'm choosing my words. Journalistic integrity. Shelly knew about the interview before it came out. She knew about the interview.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
knew. She knew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So choosing my words carefully, Shelly was not surprised by the content of the interview when it came out. And she also knew that their rollout was the very fucking next day. And she also knew that she was going to be appearing in his video 2 days after that. And she also knew that Ace felt away when Alandria came to her party and it got even a big applause from the audience. So for you to know that your man is about to take a kill shot on me and you invite me to your birthday party on Saturday, knowing that on Monday he's about to fuck my shit up. Already, as for me, if I was Alandria's mother, I would be concerned.
I hear you, but here's the thing.
I would be concerned.
We started off this whole live about talking about like authenticity.
Yes.
The most authentic individuals that we have discussed here are Nick and Alandria to me. They are the most authentic individuals, right? And I think to a certain extent, as fans and as viewers, we have expected these contestants or some of these individuals to genuinely be friends.
Yeah,
but
and
the fact of the matter is, and I'm sure Alandria or Nick feel the same way, but the fact of the matter is they're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
Think Ace and Shelly are business people who are like,
business.
We like y'all, but y'all bad for business.
Yes, and Ace came in thinking about his business. He's like, I got 1 point so million followers. He came in thinking about business. He was operating with the producers because he's used to operating with producers, whereas some of these other individuals, Austin's never been on TV, so he didn't know what was up.
And he's the biggest
Alandria like doesn't necessarily know these spaces either, whereas some of these other individuals might be more familiar. They came in with a business in mind.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what it is. And here's what I'll say too about Alandria really quick. I love Alandria.
I do too.
Alandria is the fairy tale story.
Quite literally,
the fairy tale story that some, and I won't say everyone, but some of these other contestants wanted. And I won't even necessarily say for the same reasons. I think they may have wanted the fairy tale edit.
Yep.
They wanted the fairy tale edit, but not necessarily the fairy tale story. And they're much more jealous of the fairy tale edit that Alandria is receiving, whereas Alandria is living freely within the genuine fairy tale that she exists in.
And I think you just pinpointed why I have a visceral reaction to protecting Nicolandria. I want to address this comment, right? It says Nicolandria are so clearly playing up the relationship to the public. Let me explain this to you guys as someone who's actually been in Alandria in a non-romantic setting. When I was in my living room writing on Facebook on posts that were going viral on Facebook, when I got a call from the Gauyo saying, we want you to come in to be a writer for us because you're doing more numbers by yourself than we are on our website. I said, oh, people get paid to talk like this? I didn't know that. And then I end up on a podcast with Melissa Ford. Beautiful woman, beautiful vixen. She's part of hip hop history, right? I walked in sincerely because I liked Melissa. Melissa saw me as a business opportunity. No, Mike, let me finish. Look, I'm not gonna say anything bad. She saw me as good for business. When we uncoupled, I was brokenhearted about a friendship ending. She was just doing business. And it took me years to realize, Blue, she didn't do anything wrong based on her value system. Y'all just had different value systems. You're thinking, I'm doing good business with my friends. The same way Alandria is thinking, core 4 is 4 people that I love, and we're going to do good business. Ace and Shelly are thinking, no, bitch, you're supposed to be a sidekick. That's bad for business. And then what happened is, what happens now? Mike, what do I do every time I do a YouTube live that does good? I call Mike and my other friends and say, hey, guys, I sincerely love y'all. Y'all coming on here is good for business because I want my audience to see how amazing you are. And you're like, no, I'm just going to come support you as a friend. I said, no, Mike, I've learned the hard way from all the people who've used me for business, what I thought was friendship, that the fact that I sincerely think you're amazing, it's good for business for my audience to see how brilliant you are. Show the fuck up to this live and show them people how brilliant you are, right? I had to evolve because me being kumbaya got me hurt. So when y'all say Nicolandria is playing up, it's because they're learning business as they go, but they didn't start with business. They started for sincere friendship, got their fucking feelings hurt, and then pivoted to business. That's my journey. So I can tell you that them playing it up does not take away anything that we're saying. You learn that you are getting fucked up because you're being too emotional, and you pivot to fucking business. Mike, did I miss anything?
Nope.
So that comment doesn't negate anything we said. Olandria's learning the game as she's playing it. Ace and Shelly already knew the game when they got to the villa. And that's why they had to break up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mike, how do you feel about this conversation, Frank? I want to make sure
we just solved the case.
Huh?
I feel we just solved the case.
It's friendship versus business. And once Nicolandria, and mind you, why am I so quick to pivot? I'm a Gemini rising. What's Alandria's sign? Why am I so quick to pivot? I'm a Gemini rising. What's Alandria's sign? Alandria's a fucking Gemini. Even if we're late to the party, we catch up really fucking quick. She was late to the party of the business of Nicolandria, but once she realized the power that she possessed, she said, oh, bet, Nick, hold my purse. And that's why they're all over the VMAs and the red carpets and all the stuff. She's learned. And the funny thing is, Nick knew business from the jump, but he just wanted to protect his girl. I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face.
Oh, yes.
Nick knew business from jump. Nick's father looks over Olandria's contracts, guys. Nick's father looks over Olandria's contracts. A man who is investing in you is going to use his resources to put you the fuck on. Am I wrong, Mike?
Hello. You are correct.
Right? He said, baby, I know you love Shelly, and I know I love Ace, and let my dad look over those contracts because I want to make sure you're getting paid fair wages. And Alandria said, what I asked for and what Nick's father got me are very different. They got me way more than I thought I deserved. So what's happening is Ace thought because Alandria was such a easy to manipulate girl because he manipulated her with Taylor all throughout the villa, he's annoyed his biggest soldier is helping the other side. His biggest soldier in Shelly is now building Nicolandria with Alandria, who was only supposed to be a pawn. She was never supposed to be a key player. Thoughts, Mike?
No.
Well, so Shelly, I love you. You're doing what I've done with all of my unevolved Leos. You are loyal to your man, and you're loyal to your business. And you cannibalized, you were complicit in watching your friend be cannibalized in the pursuit of that. And I do still believe you still love her. And I do still believe you shouldn't be threatened for the actions of your man. And still, though, who you align with romantically is something that you have to take responsibility for at some point. Mike, what's that point where you have to take responsibility for who you're laying with when it comes to business? Because it'd be naive for us to act like
you have to take responsibility.
Yeah, what's that point?
From the beginning. From the very beginning. So yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that you've said.
Controversial but brave.
Yeah, it could be deemed as controversial, for sure. But we're also speaking from a place of individuals who work in entertainment and know how it works. Like I started.
I'm sorry, mentioning people's names. Don't worry, Mike. I won't put you in no mess.
Yeah, I started off in reality TV. I know how that works and how that machine operates.
Mike said, "Where's his orange?"
That right? Needed. I need the vitamin C after everything Brew just said. I'm like, whoo! I started sweating. Wait a minute. But everything he said was accurate. And the thing is, we're having this conversation, but these individuals will go on to do.
We wish them well.
We'll wish them well, and they'll have, I can't necessarily say they'll have like great careers, but they'll go on to make more money. No, I don't know. They'll go off to make a lot of money. I wish them the same success that Serena and Cordell are having. Cordell's like about to be, he's doing TV now. Like Serena, they're both doing well and still going strong as a couple, and I think that's fantastic. That's great for them. I'm happy you mentioned what I hope for Ace is that he doesn't get in his own way. I hope for all of these individuals that they don't get in their own way, because that can happen very quickly.
And you know, so funny. I'm so happy you mentioned Cordell. Cordell is a young man with connections who protects his woman over his ego. And even when other men tell him to not protect her, he says, kiss my ass. I'm putting my lady first. As a young man who has industry connections, who protects his woman, I think the biggest gag of it all, and this is going to be so hard for me to say, as y'all know how pro-Black I am. Ace wanted to pretend to be Cordell. Nick actually is Cordell. And that's the issue. Ace wanted to pretend that, because Ace and what's her name? Shelly wanted the Cordell and Serena package season 7. They very clearly thought they were going to be the Cordell and Serena of season 7. There's a whole video I was going to do about that because I found a bunch of receipts that make it clear. He probably
wanted that edit.
They wanted that edit, right? Nick naturally is Cordell. Nick naturally is the person who, I don't care what my boys say, not too much on my girl. And so the person who Ace thought he could pretend to be, Nick naturally was, and Ace didn't peep it until it was too late.
Yeah, Ace was a ringleader who was betrayed.
Yeah, and Cordell, the thing is, Cordell was never a ringleader. That was his first mistake. Yeah. Cordell was naturally Cordell.
Yeah.
You can't be a contrived version of someone whose whole brand is being authentic. And so, yeah, Ace thought he was smarter than the audience, and the audience reads more than he thought. Yeah. So, Mike, tell everybody, we're going to wrap this up. You guys, for those who've been asking about the Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug, I'm doing that tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Mariah the Scientist, Anatomy of a Modern Day Pick-Me. That should be a fun live.
I also want to just address the question of the live, which is, does Shelly, do we owe Shelly grace? Oh, is a strong word. It's a charged word.
People were saying, we owe her grace, and that's why I intentionally used it.
I don't think we owe any individual anything per se, because these are, again, public figures who have opened themselves up to public scrutiny. And it just comes with the job. It comes with it. So I don't think we owe her that. What I will say about Shelly is that she is to me comes across as very much a business woman and very savvy, and to her credit has left a lot of that kind of like rah-rah energy that Ace possesses that she might enjoy and or discuss amongst each other behind closed doors. Shelly is not like that in public. And I think that will bode very well for her in her future, and as she just proceeds as a businesswoman. But yeah, I'm still team Shelly. And so
I appreciate you being team Shelly. I'm still praying for Shelly, and I'm team Nicolandria.
Oh, I'm team Nicolandria down.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing, because I think there's something to be said about individuals like us, and I think many people, if not all the individuals in this live right now, that we perceive the entire Love Island series in two minds. Yeah. There's the escapism aspect where we enjoy just watching these individuals fall in love, fall out of love, whatever that looks like, and being able to dispel any ideas of reality and live in the delusion of these individuals. Yeah. Right? We love that. And then there's I know this shit is produced. I know what goes on behind the scenes. I know that, like, people partner themselves up and they're really just doing this for like social media and to like, get more followers and like get more brand deals. I know that aspect of it. Right. And I enjoy the fact that we can see both of these aspects in both Shelly, in terms of praising her as an individual who played the game very well, and still live in the delusion or enjoy the genuine nature of Alandria finding love and being someone who is genuinely in love and deserving of love, and finding that in Nick. So
watching someone like Alandria win.
Yeah, watching someone like Alandria win when so many of us, it's particularly Black women, who don't often get to see that, are or experience it,
yeah.
Get to live through Alandria in that. So I love that.
I love that too. And I think the reason why I'm Team Nicolandria and I'm praying for Shelly is that Alandria is, everybody said the one thing about Alandria, she was the mother of the villa. And we often forget that our mothers are women.
Yeah, so yes.
Sure. When we called her the mother of the villa, there's a mimification that naturally happens when a dark-skinned Black woman is the person that
I was about to say. That's why I don't care.
Yeah,
really care for that.
It's like a what is it? Kamala, whatever. What's that name? The white girl who called Kamala when she came on her show. What's that white actress who has a talk show who's insufferable?
Drew Barrymore?
Yeah, when Drew Barrymore was calling Kamala Mamala. So they were treating Alandria like Mamala, where they were okay with her being the mother of the show. They were okay with her being sacrificed for other people to get along and to get further, but never thought that she would be Cinderella. Never thought that she could actually be a threat to them being that girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you see a Black woman who's used to giving and giving and giving and doesn't even think to ask for anything in return and sincerely is wearing her heart on her chest while everybody else is doing business, right? And you saw Alandria cry and said, I came here for love. I'm so tired of being strong, but I have no choice because if I'm not strong, nobody will catch me. And then Nick, out of nowhere, comes and catches her and makes her realize, oh, no, honey, you can be prioritized. You don't have to be a mamala. Like, I can take care of you for once.
Mm-hmm.
That's not about race, guys. That's why I keep on saying I wish Nick was Black. I'm going to say this. If Nick was Black, I think Nicolandria would have still happened. It was Nick's character. Whiteness always helps, but whiteness wasn't the point this time. Because I call it out when it's whiteness, right? I call it out when it's whiteness. I honestly think we watched it happen with Cordell. That's how I know it's not that. We watched a Black man show up for a woman the same way that Nick did the year prior and had the same fucking reaction. So again, this is not the place to use the whole y'all caping for a white man bullshit, because we were caping for a nigga doing the same thing the day before. Maybe we just want to see Black women be treated properly regardless of who it is.
Hello.
Maybe that's what's at stake here, right? And so the part of me that's evolved is happy that the girl who put herself last crashed into a man who wanted to put her first and wouldn't stop until she put herself first too. That's amazing. So I'm Team Nicolandria for that. For Shelly, though, Shelly represents me last year when I was fucking around with the Leo and Mike and all my friends were trying their best to be polite, waiting for me to come to my senses. That's why I'm Team Nicolandria, but I'm praying for Shelly. Fix your face. Yes, Mike knows icky. Fix your face, right? My friends were like, oh, girl, that's her man and she gonna stick beside him.
I don't know nobody.
Okay, when this blows up in the most obvious way, we go tell our friend we're happy you went through, you learned what you needed to learn.
I don't know that man.
Okay, so as a triple Virgo who wasted a lot of time on a Leo, I am praying for Shelly because a lot of what we're saying, she won't be able to admit while she's still aligned with him. So as long as she's aligned with him, we have to respect that and her choices and the consequences of those choices. And when and if she ever leaves him, the conversations that y'all are like at the bit to have, that's the only time it's going to be appropriate for her to listen.
Right.
So I'm praying for her from a distance of knowing what it's like to be under that spell, but I'm clapping for Nicolandria actively in the present tense. Does that make sense? I don't want y'all to think that I'm mad at Shelly. I was Shelly. I can't be mad at her. I'm giving her what did I ask all my friends, Mike? I said, you guys, give me the space to learn whatever this is trying to teach me. I told all my friends, don't talk shit about him. Let me learn whatever this is trying to teach me. So I'm gonna do my own advice. I'm gonna let Shelly learn what she needs while clapping actively for the people who are doing the things that I present tense think is honorable. Now, Mike, do you have any last words, or do you just want to tell people where they can find you? Because they're obsessed with you in the comments. Watch this back and read the comments.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Thank you. This was great. I really enjoyed this. I'm actually going to speak to skin color _Duce's comment about Alandria being on the Vogue's best dress list for the VMAs. She looks amazing.
Alandria, love looks good on her. She looks good on her.
She looks amazing. And if I could just say, the style team behind Alandria, Matthew, good friend of mine. Love Matthew.
We love you, Matthew.
Matthew is amazing. I'm not sure who did this hair.
Nick said this was her favorite hair. This and the curly was her favorite hair. So I wanted us to see. Nick loves this look on her, he said.
Yeah, this is great on her. I'm trying to think if I knew the person who did her hair too. They look fantastic. Alandria looks amazing. So Matthew,
Alandria is serving.
Y'all are eating.
I have so many Nicolandria videos. I actually am having a hard time picking one. I will say this too. The thing I love about Nick and Alandria as well, that Cordell and Serena had, again, the similarities between Nick and Alandria are so loud. It actually is a little bit crazy how much they remind me, because Odell Beckham came on the show to say that he loved Serena with Cordell. And in the same way, Nick's family has been Alandria's most vocal supporters.
Yeah, I love that.
They adore her. His mother and her mother are such friends. And even when you look at this,
placement, no. Theme, good.
All right, theme is good, chat.
Theme is good.
Placement, they chose the placement.
No.
They chose the placement.
No, maybe like
They chose the placement.
not loving.
It was them. It was.
You got me.
I'm telling you, when you see, and the thing too is, and this is the part, Mike, you have to be a little bit nasty. Number one, Freako Nico is clearly blowing her back out. Can we be grown? Can we be grown here? Is that allowed before we go?
I think you may be right.
I think Freako Nico is blowing her back out. I also love the fact that Nick is so chivalrous that if you try to,
what do you call himself? The Belgian waffle?
We call him Big Belgian. Big Belgian.
Big Belgian.
If you take a picture with Nick, he won't even let his hands touch you.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
Nick's like, I'm not playing that shit. Bitch, don't try it. Right. So many girls have thrown puss at Nick. And Nick's like, yeah, I don't know who you think I was, but you not know Alandria is my bitch? They said, Nick, who's your favorite celebrity that you'd want to pass for? Nick said Alandria because Alandria is a celebrity. And Alandria, so Nick was on a live for subscribers only. This is some tea, guys. And the subscriber said, Nick, blink 3 times if Alandria's become your girlfriend recently and you didn't tell us. Nick went and continued with the live. And so he keeps on confirming with eye blinks to people on his, look at Mike's face, that him and Alandria.
So cute. It's so
and
cute.
It's very cute. He's like, we're official. So the gag is, Ace said that Shelly would be his first and last girlfriend. Alandria and Nick, who are allegedly fake, go together. And Alandria recently called Nick.
He's going to show you his favorite drink, and you better be nice.
Look at this.
My boyfriend's going to show you his favorite drink, and you better be nice.
And the thing is, Alandria and Nick took their time. And my issue with Ace is the thing of just doth protest too much. Like, I think he even said at some point, like, oh, Shelly's my wife. Like, let's pump the brakes.
Is she your girlfriend first?
Pump the brakes, right? Like, I like that Nick and Alandria took their time to genuinely get to know each other. Whereas Shelly and Ace kind of like fell into this, this arrangement.
But Alandria said she was actually ready for a relationship. So I think Alandria sincerely went on the show hoping to find a partner. I do think that is
absolutely.
Alandria came for a partner and Shelly came for a business opportunity and happened to find a partner. And I'm not judging that either. I'm just saying, hold on, we already showed this. I want to show.
Well, she came for a business opportunity. I think also left with a business opportunity.
Oh.
I think she's just being really smart about it.
Okay, this is not the video. There's a video that I want to show. Hold on, let me remove this. Because, Auntie's still learning. Don't call me Auntie. I can only call myself that. I want to show you guys the video of, and this might be the look that Mike was talking about. Everybody's going crazy about them at the VMAs.
You are so pretty, bro.
No, that's not it. That's not the look. It's a retro. That's like from a few days ago.
First of all, do you see him carrying her with one hand?
You can tell I'm a fan because I know that's from a few days ago. No,
he's carrying her with one hand. That's sexy.
Yeah, it's Alandria's wearing this like gorgeous, stunning red dress.
Can you find it for me, Mike? Because the audience is gonna want to see it.
I don't even know how to put it unless I just show it on my phone.
You can show it on your phone.
I don't even know how to use social media, child. Hold on.
I'm gonna play another video. You guys, I wanted us to end on a positive note on what happens when the girl who's not there for clout ends up getting it anyways, sincerely, because she just finds a man who cares about her. Oh, wow!
Don't she look good?
Okay, put it away because it's Beyonce. I don't want to get copyright strike. Turn the volume on. But oh my God, Mike, send me that. She looks the fuck good.
She looks good. She looks damn good.
Oh my heavens. Okay, If you know the person styling Alandria, please tell them that in this video they're getting their just dues. And I will hold on. I'm gonna play one more video before we go.
Oh, my mind is going to dirty places. Imagine looking. You know what? Controller.
If you want to go follow who's styling Alandria, and I think most of you may already know who this is, but it's Matthew. I don't know how this. It's Matthew and Reginald. Yeah, Reisman. And Reginald Reisman. They're a couple. They're a couple. They're amazing.
DM them both to me, Mike, and I'll make sure I put them in the description box.
Yeah, they're great.
So do you see that sometimes, and I think this, when people made fun of Alandria, when Alandria said, I think the reason why people like Nicolandria is because it's healing the world, and people were like, Alandria thinks that her fucking with this white boy is healing people. Who the fuck do you think you are? Can we be honest? Alandria is saying, watching a dark-skinned Black girl who just sincerely wants love, get love and then some, is healing for people. I don't think she's wrong with that, guys. I don't think she's wrong about that. I felt I'm a grown-ass woman, technically middle-aged now, and I felt like healed by that. Why do y'all get mad when Black women understand their impact?
Mm-hmm.
Why are y'all clowning Alandria for saying that her and Nick's love could heal people? What is wrong with that? Right? Purposely took it out of context, because how dare Alandria finally be in on the joke and recognize that she's always been that bitch? So yeah. I just hope that whoever's watching this with objectivity and a pure heart recognizes that sometimes the good guy doesn't finish last. And that's why I think Nicolandria speaks to people's hearts. The two friends who turned into lovers unexpectedly and who were actually willing and excited to clap for the other couple when it was their turn and they received it, we all showed up for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's fucking nothing wrong with that. Now, Mike, have you told them where they can find you?
All right, you can find me on Instagram at blackboyrights.com. Wait, no, what .com? You can find me on Instagram at blackboyrights. It's blackboyrights with a period in between each letter. But Blue, do you have the link somewhere on here?
What?
You'll find me.
I'll tag him.
Yeah, you'll tag me. Yeah, I mean that's it. You can find me on TikTok also as Black Boy Rights.
Eat fucking them oranges. That's not part of your brand now. You and the tangerine.
I be talking and eating, y'all. I be talking and eating. But yeah, I mean, I really had fun. This was great. This is yeah, I'll be back.
This is back. Mike will be back.
Have me.
Now that I know that you enjoy it, because I was like, am I harassing this man?
Fun.
And Florence, one of our moderators, she put it in there, so it's only the first half. The bottom half is just extra. It's
thank you, Florence. Oh, thank you, Florence.
Delete everything, Florence. Whenever you do a hashtag, delete. I mean, a URL. Delete everything from the question mark onward. That's just internet stuff. But yeah, and the thing is, Florence already follows you. So
I think I've seen her name before. Hey, Florence. Hey, girl.
She's a moderator. She's a moderator.
What's going on, sis?
And I'm gonna be looking for other moderators.
Yes, Blue for the win. Blue always for the win.
Somebody said, keep doing you, Mike. Mike, we love you. You have a bunch of new fans in here.
Shout
out to all 1,640, Mike, 1,640 people watched until the end.
Period.
Now go have fun for me at Everyday People while I continue this this live. And I will say this, Mike, the next time you come back, please come back when you have something to promote so the Blue crew can come and support you.
No, absolutely. I'll have stuff to promote very soon. And yeah, thanks y'all. And watch Send Help. If you haven't seen Send Help, you can watch it on Tubi for free. And just stay tuned to whatever else I'm doing. And I'll be able to share more very soon. So
excellent. Thank you so much, my love.
Appreciate you.
Bye, love. You guys, you got to see my friend Mike. You see how amazing he is. He is a Leo. So yes, Ace is not the only vision of a Leo. I was excited about having Mike on because I know we make a lot of Leo jokes when it comes to Ace because he is not beating the allegations. But I want you to understand that Leos can evolve. Okay? Leos can evolve. And for all the Leos who hit me up saying, Blue, oh my God, Leos can evolve. Also, please, guys, if you haven't already, become a member. We're trying to get up to 100 members on the join button, just the join button right next to my name. Because if you become a member and we get to 100, then we start doing the sexy story times. You see how whenever I'm about to tell a story, and my friends get, ooh, blew out too much. They are right. There are certain stories that it's not safe to tell outside of the paywall. And so if you want to hear sexy story time or the tarot classes, please, please, please subscribe. Actually, not subscribe, join. Let me see if I can find the image. Join the page. Hold on. Where did I put that picture? You guys know I'm always trying to figure out how to do the things while I'm doing the things. Here we go. Here it goes. Join right next to my name where it says the join button. And when you hit that button, it will take you to become a member of the Academy. The Academy is a school that I'm going to be doing where I start teaching things around magic that I don't feel comfortable teaching to the general public. I'm also going to be doing sexy story times. I'm going to be doing first reactions. Sometimes I'm going to want to say something without having to edit myself the way that I still have to do to some degree here. And the way that Cardi B talks to her audience behind the scenes, and you see how she gets backlash when it's public. Lizzo now has a subscriber-only fan base, so she talks to them behind the paywall. We're entering an age where, because people, to Mike's point earlier, like to drag folks, it is easier and safer to talk to people who have opted into hearing you and however you're branded. So also rewatch, guys. Rewatch this video after you join. And tomorrow we're going to be doing a live of Mariah the Scientist, The Anatomy of a Modern Day Pick-Me, where I unpack my feelings around what's happening with Young Thug, Mariah the Scientist, and also Mariah the Scientist and Shelly went to the same high school, I heard. Either the same high school or the same college. I forget which one. And this week, they're both being called to task based on the men that they choose. So be clear, guys. One of the most important things you will ever choose in your life is who you are in a romantic relationship is. And thank you, Flo. Intention candles, we are only doing the pre-sale for the intention candles until the 21st of September. So you only have 2 more weeks to buy the intention candles before we stop selling them in pre-sale and we start making the batches. So if you haven't already, please go follow us. And I will make sure to clip the part of my live on Tuesday where I explained the candles. So those of you who missed Tarot Tuesday's live, either go watch that actually, no. Go watch the Tarot Tuesday live, because the first hour of Tarot Tuesday live from this Tuesday is me explaining all the candles. So if you want to know what the candles are, go and watch them. And when this video is done, I will put Mike's link. I'm waiting for Mike to send me the Reeseman's link. I'll put their link as well. And I'll put the links to all the candles. All right. Love y'all so much. I will see y'all tomorrow, probably around 3 o'clock Pacific. That's usually my sweet spot. I'm going to go say bye to Mike before he leaves. All right. Love y'all. Bye, family.